Sports welcomes you to the City of the Stars. But the Hollywood Stars are on the sideline today in the main arena for the NFC Championship. It's Mr. Roger Staubach and the Dallas Cowboys against Mr. Pat Hayden and the Los Angeles Rams. Sit back and enjoy, everyone.
The NFL Today is sponsored by new Ultrex from Schick Super 2, the twin blade with one-push cleaning, fits Track 2 and Atra razors. Tuborg Gold, the golden beer of Danish Kings, Tuborg Breweries Limited, Baltimore, Maryland. And by AC Delco, quality automotive parts for quality motoring, AC Delco. From the CBS Sports Control at the Los Angeles Coliseum, here's Brent Musburger.
Everyone, and welcome to Los Angeles, and congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are headed for Super Bowl 13. They destroyed Houston today in the rain and slop, 34-5. Here in Los Angeles, we do have some storm clouds on the horizon, building up over the Pacific, but we hope that it holds off for this championship matchup. And we welcome a very special guest with us, Leeman Bennett, the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And, Coach, I know you'd prefer to be on the sidelines.
Brent, thank you very much, and I most certainly would prefer to be on the sidelines.
I'll tell you, Leeman, you might have been, except for one play. I hate to remind you of it, but I'm going to take you back
I'm not looking forward to looking at it, I tell you that.
Here it was. It was the Dallas Cowboys on the receiving end of this kickoff by the Atlanta Falcons. And, Leeman, you must have run this over and over saying, how come we didn't recover it?
Well, I tell you, it looks like the Keystone Cup. They had trouble getting that out. And I tell you, I thought we had it twice there, but it just wasn't to be. And the amazing thing, Brent, we practice recovering fumbles once a day every week. And for some reason, we couldn't come up with that fumble in that ball game.
Oh, you watch the second man down here, Leeman, on about the 5-yard line, number 30. And I thought for sure you had it.
Ernie Jackson is right on it there and just couldn't come up with it. He finally squirts out and goes into the end zone, and one of the Dallas players falls on it and gives them a touchback. At that particular time, we had an excellent chance to go up 14 points on them, and I think if we had it, we'd have been playing today.
Leeman, you came off the staff of Chuck Knox here with the Los Angeles Rams. You lost to the Dallas Cowboys in the playoff. How would you summarize this championship game?
Oh, I think it's going to be a very defensive ball game, and I think a lot of it will depend on the play of Tony Dorsett and, of course, the play of the two quarterbacks. I think that's the real keys.
Okay. There is another major story unfolding here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. It was revealed this morning in the Los Angeles Times that Al Davis apparently has told some owners in the NFL that he would unilaterally move the Oakland Raiders into the Coliseum where the Rams are leaving in 1980 to go south to Anaheim. With us is Bill Robertson, who is in charge of securing a new team for the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And Bill, are you going to go out after an existing team or an expansion team? Where do you stand right now?
Well, of course, our priority would be to get an established team in Los Angeles, and we would be delighted to have the Oakland Raiders here. Now, there have been a number of pro owners who have indicated some interest in coming to Los Angeles. We think we have a grand facility here. This area can more than adequately support 2 professional football teams. We have a population of over 10 million to draw from.
Bill, what about your conversations with the Minnesota Vikings?
Well, of course, now that Minnesota has allocated $55 million to the building of a dome stadium, and if they are able to bring that stadium through and up to standards, I'm sure that Max Winters and the Minnesota Vikings will be staying in Minneapolis. But they're not home free on that yet, so the Minnesota Vikings are still a viable potential for Los Angeles.
But this afternoon, the Coliseum still belongs to the Los Angeles Rams. And let me take you back and show you how the great bulletin board war got started. It was the third Sunday of the regular season. Roger Staubach and the Dallas Cowboys did not play well. Staubach threw 4 interceptions. Late in the game, he scrambled out of bounds. Some of the Rams yelled at him, and Roger responded in the heat of the moment. Jack Youngblood telling Roger to cool off, and Jack was asked what Roger had to say at the time. We'll see you chokers in the playoffs. What about it, Tom Landry?
And if you catch him at the right time, right after he's disappointed, he might say something like that. But he won't do that. He's got too much class to say that, you know. And I don't think he really meant it, you know, at the time, if it came across that way. Mm-hmm. And it just seems like everybody in pro football is talking more. And I think that's...
The man who's talking the loudest, Thomas Henderson. They call him Hollywood. Lehman, he says the Rams don't have enough class. What happens when a ball player says that about an opposing team?
Well, first of all, there's very few coaches that like that. I know myself, I don't like to have my players sound off like that about other teams. What real effect it will have on the ball game, I would say very, very little. The game will be decided out there on the field this afternoon.
All right, Lehman and Jane, let's turn to Irv Cross and the Schick Players of the Week.
Got a surprise for you, Ben, because the Pro Football Writers last week could not decide between Pittsburgh quarterback Terry Bradshaw and his wide receiver John Stallworth for Schick Player of the Week, so they selected both of them for their victory over Denver last weekend. Bradshaw completed 16 of 29 passes for 272 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of the scoring passes went to Stallworth, who made a remarkable catch just inside the end line. And here it is right here. Bradshaw rolls out and finds Stallworth down deep and hits him. Stallworth caught 9 other passes as well, setting a league divisional playoff record and asserting himself as a star in his own right. Today, Bradshaw and Stallworth led the Steelers, of course, to victory over the Houston Oilers, and they go to the Super Bowl.
Indeed, and you can hear the crowd behind us. The fans in Los Angeles have taken on a different mood the last couple of weekends. And the NFL Today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
Attention Track 2 users, attention APTRA users. Get ready for really clean shaving. Introducing Ultrex from Schick Super 2. The only twin blades with 1-push cleaning. Watch. 1 push pushes out soap and stubble for a clean start on really close shaves. Look, Ultrex slides on Track 2 razors, clicks on APTRA razors. Get new Ultrex with 1-push cleaning. Only Schick Super 2 Ultrex has 1-push cleaning.
Heritage of American brewed Tuborg Gold. Never go for bronze or silver. Live to make the most of every day. Go for the gold. Then taste the triumph of Danish brewing. Tuborg Gold.
You make the most of every day. Go for the gold. Tuborg Gold.
When you want it cut out quick, our brand's the one to pick. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. We help you pick up speed, and speed is what you need. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. So when you want to go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
Thanks, AC.
For us today, Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshier up in the announce booth. Thank you very much, Jane. You know, Thomas, this is my 17th NFL championship game as a player and now as a broadcaster, and I don't think I've ever seen a crowd more enthused than this one.
Well, you know, we've always heard the Ram fans, even when we played, Patrick, were a little fickle and sometimes had other things to do, like go to the beach and what have you, but they feel like fans in New York or Chicago or Philadelphia or someplace where their team really means something. Today, they're very hot.
How do you feel about the contest itself?
Well, there's an old saying in football, we're going to eat your lunch. And both teams feel that they can do it to the other one. I think it's going to be a very big macho, intimidation game. And guys like Dorsett and Roger and everybody better have their helmets on, I think.
Two of the best defenses in professional football will collide, and two of the best offenses as well. Let's go down to field side now to Frank Glieber.
Patrick, they won't get any sympathy at all from the Oilers and the Steelers, but this field could be in better shape. The field is loose. They played 25 games on it this year, so the sod does come up. It's also wet in patches, particularly around the NFL shield at midfield. The field was covered Friday. They had heavy rains here, but the wind blew the rain under the tarp, so we've got the wet spots. On the sidelines with us are going to be the two alternate officials in the game. We'll be checking with them if any controversial plays come about. That, of course, has happened in playoff games in the past. If it does happen, we'll be with them. We'll get the information to you right away. Now back to Brent.
Thank you, Frank, very much. And Jane, the last time Roger Staubach came in here, he had a terrible afternoon.
I talked to Roger earlier this week, and he was saying the Los Angeles defense was able to force him to throw more than he had liked to, over 40 times. So what he's going to try and establish more today would be the running game.
All right, let's take a look.
Last week, against the Atlanta Falcons' gambling, blitzing defense, Dallas's Roger Staubach was knocked out of the game. Though Staubach has no recollection of what followed, the Cowboys, led by sub-quarterback Danny White, won and advanced to the NFC Championship. Today against Los Angeles, a hale and hearty Staubach will try to dissect the Rams' invincible defense, a defense ranked #1 in the entire NFL. I want to ask you about last week's game, since obviously you don't remember much of it, but what about the game coming up this Sunday with the Rams?
Well, I think it's going to be just a really tough football game. Both our defenses are excellent defenses, and offensively, I think we were #1 and #2 in the league. So it's going to be, overall, I think, a defensive struggle.
The Rams secondary, they've got two cornerbacks, very, very quick and effective, particularly Rod Perry, who intercepted one of your passes for a touchdown.
Their secondary with Thomas and Perry are very tough. You've got to throw the ball on time, and you can't be a little bit behind or a little bit high. You have to be on target. Pat Thomas is just excellent, very quick, recovers fast, and they both intercepted 8 passes, and Perry is excellent also. So between the two of them, they're the finest cornerback combination that we've played against this year.
Has the Ram game turned into a grudge match?
It's been interesting. We've had headlines in our paper. Coach Malavasi, his picture was in the last night's paper saying they were going to kick our, well, you know what, second time. He said it the first time, and they did it. So, you know, I guess it worked then. And so there has been words going back and forth, which is unusual in a big game like this. But most of the players, you know, realize that it comes down to execution on the football field. What is being said is really meaningless. There's the adrenaline, and there's so much at stake that you don't need to get players up or get them any more motivated. It's who executes on the field and who doesn't make mistakes and who plays well on the football field determines the game. I think both teams are pretty even, so it's going to be a tough football game.
On the other side of the field is Pat Hayden. He does not enjoy the reputation that Roger Staubach does, but he has played well in big games for Malavasi. Back with Pat Hayden as the NFL Today continues in just a moment.
When I decided to go into the small cigar business, I didn't want to be second best. That's why Muriel Air Tips drive me mild with the easiest taste they could have found. And for something different, Muriel Coronella is the sweetest little miniature in town. Muriel, the biggest selling brand of small cigars around. Because nobody wants to smoke second best.
Spend an hour with something man values more than money, often more than life itself. See Gold, a glittering National Geographic special, the week of January 7th on your public television station, made possible by a grant from Gulf.
We're losing control of the ship. If we're to steer this operation right, we need computers. David, call the Giants.
Sir, let's call the Giant Killers. Wang.
If instant business information will help you run your business better, big or small, Wang has a computer system for you.
Avast the inventories. Hard right receivables. Profits ahead.
Everybody loves my Pizza Inn, 'cause when you come here, you're gonna feel at home. Just relax and settle in. Jane's gonna treat you like one of her own. It's friendly at Pizza Inn. You'll find out it's a cozy place with a lot of things to like. We're cooking pizza all made from scratch, and you're gonna love each bite. And that's why we've got a feeling you're gonna like us at Pizza Inn.
Because of the clouds and the haze, the lights have been turned on here in the Coliseum. The wind picking up could be a factor in this game. And Irv, the man who should know all about the Coliseum, is Pat Hayden.
Indeed he does. But, you know, it's so difficult to try to separate these two ball clubs. Of course, the Rams are #1 in total defense. The Cowboys are right behind, #2 in total defense. But Pat Hayden has never lost to the Cowboys.
Indeed. And in that earlier meeting this year, it was Hayden and not Staubach who had the upper hand.
I have a good feeling about this team. The people are ready, they're anxious, and I say they're determined, and it's a hungry football team.
Can the hunger of Pat Hayden and the Los Angeles Rams control the rage of the Dallas Doomsday defense? That question will be answered in today's NFC Championship game. The Cowboys are defending Super Bowl champions, and defense has always been a strong part of their game. I asked Pat which part of the defense he thought the toughest.
I think their front four is by far the strongest. They're incredibly tough up there. And again, they're playing much better now than they have in the past. Randy White can really rush the passer. He's so quick and strong for being a smallish defensive lineman, but he can really rush the passer. And of course, Too Tall Jones had a phenomenal game last week. And we all know how tall he is, and I'm too short to play, so that poses a problem. And
I didn't want to ask that. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to be asking enough this week, I'm sure. I can't play. I'm too short. And then there's Harvey Martin on the other side, who's had some injuries this year, but you know he's going to be ready to play on Sunday. They're very, very good up front.
This week, Pat, you go against Too Tall Jones.
And Too Short Hayden for the Rams.
And Too Short Hayden, yeah. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's something I've battled all my life, or if I've had it since high school. And I got to chuckle at it because I don't know how many games I have to play and how many games we have to win before people finally stop saying that. And every time we lose a game or I play badly or I have a ball tipped up, he's too short. As you know, quarterbacks throw in passing lanes, and a 6'2" or 6'3" quarterback is not going to throw over Too Tall Jones. You hope you get good protection, you find a lane, and you anticipate where receivers are going to be, and you throw the ball that way.
You beat Dallas earlier this year, 27-14. Will you execute the same game plan this weekend?
Well, I would love to. It would be if we could score 27 points on them, it would be beautiful. But the Cowboys are a much better football team now than they were then, I think. We caught them the third game of the season. They were just getting untracked. And they've won 6 or 7 games in a row now. They're peaking at the right time. They've been in this spot before. They've won in these big games before. They know what it takes, and so on and so forth. So I think we're playing a much better football team than we did early in the season. The good thing we have going in our favor, I think we're playing good football now. We realize that this is a golden opportunity for us, and we want to make the most of it. That's not to say I'm not predicting we're going to beat the Cowboys. That's not to say we're going to run them out of the ballpark, but we're going to give them a good game.
Lehman, what's the most important down for Hayden against that Dallas rush?
Brent, I think it's very definitely first down, and I think what we will see today, I think we'll see a lot of formations on first down, and I think he will throw the ball a lot on first down.
Okay, Coach, let's go down to the sideline now. No stranger to championship play either. Here's Jack Whitaker.
Thank you, Brent. We've almost come to the last dance with this championship game in the NFC as Texas plays California to see who'll meet those big bad boys from Pennsylvania in Florida 2 weeks from today for the championship of all professional football. Traditionally, these games, the playoff games, have been much more exciting than Super Bowl. And here in the Coliseum today, not blessed with that harsh weather that inundated Pittsburgh, we're looking forward to a very exciting afternoon. We have Dallas, an almost perfect organization with a deeply talented football team, against Los Angeles, who might be described as 40 players looking for a team. But there is no Cinderella, underdog, wild card, magical moment, come from behind ball club here. Dallas and Los Angeles both were expected to be here today, last September when this long season began. Dallas started strongly. They slumped in the middle of the season, and they came back to finish very strongly. Los Angeles was a little erratic at times and puzzling, but last week they rose up and smote down their archenemy in the playoffs, the Minnesota Vikings, and they come into this playoff on a very strong note indeed. We tend perhaps to philosophize these games too much. Early on in these playoffs, a participating coach was going on at great length about how complex defenses had become in the NFC. After 5 minutes of this, Johnny Unitas turned to a veteran coach and said, "Isn't that the biggest bunch of nonsense you ever heard?" And the coach said, "Yes, Johnny, they still play the game with 11 players, don't they?" Well, most teams do play with 11 players at a time, including these Rams and Cowboys. And it doesn't matter how many formations Dallas shows you or what Hollywood Henderson's remarks did to rile up the Rams. What matters is how they play today. And these professionals know it. If they play well, they'll go to Miami. If they don't, they'll go home.
Aladdin Stanley Thermos. Stanley, the tough, all-steel thermos bottle that's completely dependable and built to take a pounding year after year. Get the top one, because a thermos bottle means more to you than a picnic. It's some kind of tough thermos bottle.
With Clarion Car Stereo, you'll never ride alone. Because with Clarion, you've got a concert in your car.
Heritage of American brewed Tuborg Gold. Never go for bronze or silver. Live to make the most of every day. Go for the gold. Then taste the triumph of Danish brewing. Tuborg Gold.
You make the most of every day. Go for the gold. Tuborg Gold.
Jimmy the Greek is sponsored by Dutch Master Cigars. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
Traditionally and statistically, we would have to favor the Dallas Cowboys today. There are the raw numbers that have been fed through one computer after another. But we all know that Jimmy the Greek doesn't always listen to machines and numbers. And so, Greek, how do you analyze this one here in Los Angeles?
That computer doesn't have one other category on there that the Rams beat. Houston, Pittsburgh, and Dallas, which are the 4 teams fighting for the Super Bowl, right? I have to go along, really, trying to separate the two teams, though, Brent, is like trying to call the difference between heads and tails. Everything is dead even, honestly, from team speed, quarterbacks, defensive secondary. Dallas, I have to give the edge to because of Randy White. He's definitely the best man on the field defensively. There's no question in my mind about that. But on the offensive side, I've got to give it to the Rams because of Rich Saul. Now, that's where the battle's going to be. Whichever one of those two categories wins the decision, that's who's going to win it. But, you know, the funny thing about this game is the decision will probably come right down between Septian and Coral, because one of these two teams is going to win it by a field goal, and the Rams had both of them, and they let Septian go. But being here on the home field, I'm going to go with the Rams to win by a field goal.
All right, Jimmy, and the NFL today will continue on CBS as we approach kickoff for the championship game in just a moment.
The
Dutch Masters buyers are in France for the international auction of rare African Cameroon tobacco. There are two secrets they must keep to win some of the best leaf for Dutch Masters. The exact leaf they want and the price they'll pay.
It's a nice color.
When their bid is opened by the French auctioneers, they'll learn if they've won some of the best.
Acheteur Dutch Masters.
Taste the taste the world competes for in a Dutch Masters Cameroon cigar. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
The stuffs, the snuffs, the tough breaks, the fast breaks. The NBA on CBS tips off its 1979 regional coverage next Sunday with an action-packed lineup featuring the Midwest Division leader, the Kansas City Kings, with Phil Ford taking on the human eraser Marvin Webster and the New York Knicks. The Chicago Bulls clash with the Milwaukee Bucks, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leads the Los Angeles Lakers against the Seattle Supersonics in what promises to be an exciting day of coverage. And speaking of excitement, San Antonio's Iceman George Gervin is sure to be mentioned in the balloting for the NBA All-Star Classic. He leads everyone by an incredible 30,000 votes. And speaking of the All-Star game, all the stars will come out for CBS Sports exclusive live coverage of the 1979 NBA All-Star Classic from Detroit on February 4th, with the best in the East taking on the best in the West. What will be a shootout of the superstars. So for all the thrills and excitement of the NBA, let CBS Sports take you courtside each week for the stuffs, the snuffs, the tough breaks, the fast breaks. The NBA on CBS next Sunday. Don't miss it.
Lehman, for the fans at home, what about one of the many wars that they might keep an eye on today?
Brent, I think it comes down to two wars, that being the receivers of Los Angeles against the corners of the Dallas Cowboys.
In other words, Barnes and Kyle, who were beaten here in the first match, will have to tighten up then against Jessica and Miller here today.
That's exactly right, and I think that will be the key, and I think it ties right in with the throwing on first down.
Jane, which matchup are you going to pay attention to today?
I think more so than an individual effort would be Staubach against the front four of Los Angeles.
Last time they played, he threw those interceptions without a great deal of pressure. So the Rams are going to try to get more heat on him if they can. Irv, how about you?
You know, Brent, last year's Super Bowl, the guy I really liked was Ed Too Tall Jones. Had a terrific series in the playoffs. I think he'll be hot again today. So John Williams at right tackle will have his hands full trying to contain him.
Yeah, I'd like to point out a matchup that Jimmy the Greek already has mentioned, and that is Tom Mack against Randy White. If you can control White in the middle, one-on-one, then Saul can help out if Harvey Martin and Too Tall Jones start roaming free in passing situations. Tom Mack has really played tremendously well. He's a veteran. This could be his last year. He has not made up his mind. At halftime, Lehman Bennett will analyze the action. Jimmy the Greek will have the grapevine, and Irv Cross will introduce some rookies, and Jane's got a special surprise from CBS. Until then, sit back and enjoy. This should be a marvelous football game.
Stay tuned as the NFL Today continues after this word from your local station.
Monday at the big game, join Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and all the Peanuts gang when Charlie meets his dream girl on It's Your First Kiss, Charlie Brown, Monday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
Tomorrow on CBS.
Like a mountain morning sunrise coming slowly through the trees. Like an eagle when it spreads its wings across the blue sky breeze. It's all that's big and bold and free. Come taste the great outdoors. It's a part of what you're dreaming. Make it yours. Make it yours. Make it Coors. Make it yours.
Oh, a 20-minute delay. Now what am I going to do?
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to get some things done at the office.
Oh, you have an office here?
No, I don't, but I do have long distance, so I can get things done no matter where I am.
Huh. Good idea.
Of course. You never saw anybody get anywhere by just sitting around, did you?
Long distance. It's the way to get things done today.
I'm Alan Stone, Channel 4 Sports. Please join Barry Judge, Clarice Tinsley, Gary Basner, and me tomorrow for the 10 o'clock news right here on Channel 4.
Your community needs you. Call today.
The NFC Championship game from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. The Dallas Cowboys, the defending Super Bowl champions, against the Los Angeles Rams. Tom Landry has been here a lot of times. What a job he has done with the Rams, with the Cowboys. And this man has done with the Rams. You can call each one of them the Coach of the Year. No question about it.
The NFL on CBS. Today's NFC Championship game is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealers, who invite you to see and test drive the all-new LTD and Mustang. Lowenbrow, light special and dark special when it's time for the taste of a truly great beer. And by Avis, the We Try Harder car rental company.
71,000 enthusiastic fans at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And I mean, they are excited. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier, and I don't think I've ever seen the Ram fans like this before.
Can you imagine we're going to get paid for working today? This is the most fun we're going to have all year.
It's been going on like that all year. You're right.
We got two different teams, though. I think the Rams are about the toughest, nastiest football team in the conference, maybe in the league. And I think Dallas has sophistication. I think today they've got to lay their ears back. Dallas has to run the football for a change and make it known.
Thomas Henderson, the Cowboy linebacker, has said the Rams don't have enough class to go to the Super Bowl. We're going to go down and pick up the introductions now of the Rams. Jack Youngblood is first.
He's the strong side defensive end. He was out an hour and a half before the game.
Cody Jones at one of the tackles. He's had a great year.
Had 8 solo tackles when the Rams beat the Dallas Cowboys earlier in the year.
The other tackle is the young man from Notre Dame, Big Mike Fanning, number 79.
Which means that Larry Brooks' knee would not go today, the all-pro defensive right tackle. Might be a factor.
Number 89, the other defensive end. There goes Mike Fanning. Fred Dryers, number 89.
I think he went out of line. The free spirit was introduced out of place.
That doesn't surprise you. There's Fanning arriving right now. The linebackers, and they're a good group.
And they're going to be the intimidators. That's Jim Youngblood, number 53. He will be after Dorsett early and hard.
Not related to Jack. Bob Brudzinski is number 59.
240-pounder out of Ohio State. He can tackle, has a little trouble with pass defense occasionally.
And the cornerbacks have been devastating. Number 27 is Pat Thomas.
16 interceptions between the cornerbacks, and they're 5'9" and 5'10" respectively.
The other one is Rod Perry. 4 touchdowns they have scored, the 2 cornerbacks.
And 2 salty safety men. Elmendorf, the tight man, and Simpson, who will follow him. They're as good as you can have, other than maybe Waters and Harris.
Who, of course, are the safety men for the Cowboys. The rest of the Rams, coached by Ray Malavasi. And as we said before, he could well be the Coach of the Year.
I think we're all taped up. We might as well get on with it.
We told you before, we have never seen the Ram fans this excited. There are 71,000 of them on hand. It's a sight like you'll never see anywhere else.
You know, we got to remember that Pat Hayden, while he's 5'10", has beaten the Cowboys both games he's played against them in this league. He's 2-0 against them.
Now, Thomas, the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join one of Southern California's finest vocalists, Erna Hoffman, and the University of Southern California Trojan Marching Band under the direction of Dr. Arthur C. Bartner in our national anthem.
What so proudly we will either be the Rams or the Cowboys against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who soundly beat Houston earlier today in the rain and slush at Pittsburgh.
And watching, I'm sure, right now in the dressing room where they're not exactly celebrating, but they're thinking about down the road 2 weeks, huh?
Tom Landry has had his team in playoffs 9 times in the last 13 years.
And you know something, Patrick? They're 21-9 on the road. 21-9. The Cowboys travel well, but they don't like the blue jerseys, do they?
No. This is the 4th time in the last 5 years that the Rams have been in the NFC title game. You look at one of the captains, Tom Mack, Kevin McClain of the special teams, Ron Jesse, Willie Miller, and Jack Youngblood. And the Dallas captains, Roger Staubach, Drew Pearson, D.D. Lewis, Harvey Martin, and Randy Hughes.
And Roger was fine warming up and airing it out and looked very sharp.
Let's see if we can pick up the voice of Ben Dreith now as we find out who wins the toss. These two teams, of course, met the 3rd week of the regular season, with the Rams being very impressive.
Captain, call a coin when it's in the air. Heads, he calls. It's a heads. Dallas won a toss.
The Cowboys will operate with the football. And look out for something funny early.
Have a good game.
Good officials for this game. Dreith runs a steady ship.
Ben Dreith, Al Conway, Walt Peters, Bob Beeks, Ben Tompkins, Don Orr, Bob Workman, and they have 2 alternates. Dreith is the referee. The alternates are Bob Frederick and Dick Ferguson.
And again, we'll look for early turnovers. The teams that have handled Dallas this year, and there haven't been before, got the early turnovers and made them work. They made them the same mistakes against Atlanta, but not quite enough offense to get the job done last week. Roger had, what, 4 INTs here the last time when the Cowboys lost that game to the Rams.
And he had quite a lengthy discussion one time when he was chased out of bounds in front of the Ram bench. And he was quoted as saying to the Rams, "We'll see you in the playoffs."
This guy is quite a rookie, isn't he? Mr. Corral here.
A big, strong kicker, Frank Corral. Deep for Dallas will be Larry Brinson, number 36, and Butch Johnson, 86. Butch had a tough time last week hanging on to the football.
Corral says you taught him everything he knows.
I don't even know how to kick like he does.
He's strong.
He'll start it. Title game is underway. Bounces to Butch and into the end zone and out of bounds in the end zone. They'll start from the 20. Ram fans are really in a festive and very excitable mood. Here is the Dallas offense. You've heard the names, and they're good.
Donovan, Scott, Fitzgerald, Rafferty, and Wright. And they are the most improved, perhaps, department in the entire Dallas team this year.
The wide receivers are both dangerous. Tony Hill and Drew Pearson. The tight end is one of the very best, Billy Joe Dupree.
Staubach, Tony Dorsett will be pressured early, and Scott Laidlaw, who's in for Newhouse.
They operate with a double tight end setup with Jackie Smith flanked on the right, and now in motion. Scott Laidlaw will carry the first down for Dallas. He might have gotten a yard, but no more than that. Jack Reynolds, the middle linebacker, was there to meet him.
So is Brudinski, the 240-pound linebacker. And again, the Cowboys, I felt, will take it right to the best defense in football and see if they can stop a good rushing game.
And now that Ram defense of which Tom Brookshier was speaking.
Youngblood, Jones, Fanning, and Dreyer, and the mop-up guys, they're the ones you got to watch. Youngblood, Reynolds, and Brudinski, who just made the last tackle.
And the secondary is excellent. Elbendorf and Simpson, the 2 safety men, 2nd and 9. Dallas operating from their own 21, and Pearson comes in motion. Through, that is. And this is Tony Dorsett. To the line of scrimmage before Cody Jones wraps him up. That's all he gets.
The man in motion's already gone by. Inside handoff. Scott pulls in front of him. Look at the good play by Cody Jones. And 76 is the one that had a ferocious game here in that first win.
He really did play well in that game.
Protect my bones. Here comes Cody Jones. Remember that song they were singing that?
They sang a lot of choruses that day. It'll be 3rd and 9 now. Dorsett got none. They are the best in the league in this situation, those 3rd down conversions. Roger Staubach has Tony Hill split wide right, left. Pearson on the other side. He takes the draw play. He gets away from Jack Youngblood, and Roger Staubach might have the Dallas first down. He does.
There's any doubt about how number 12 feels. That explains it. He was knocked out with a concussion last week. He put it away and just did get away from Youngblood and got out of the pocket. Can't believe Cosell said this guy was not a great athlete.
Who?
That fella. But watch this move. Youngblood from behind him. Cody doesn't get anything but a hand. Roger runs pretty well in the blue jersey too, doesn't he?
11-yard gain by Roger Staubach. The line of scrimmage, the Rams, the Dallas 32. First down, Cowboys. Pearson comes back in motion. Dorsett looking for some place to go and can't find it. Again, they stack him up before he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Big penetration that time by Cody Jones, and Dorsett tried to do the soft shoe. It didn't get much at all.
Jim Youngblood made the tackle with help from Jack Reynolds. Maybe he got a yard, maybe a little bit more than that. Mike Fanning, who started, and who's really starting to play, started in place of Larry Brooks. Pearson comes out of the backfield in motion. The fake is to Dorsett, and Roger, with good protection this time, throws to Tony Hill. He's got it. He juggled, and perhaps with the juggle lost his first down before Rod Perry and Dave Elmendorf took him down.
He just curled in between the safety men and the deep cornerback, but watch the catch. Ball is thrown high a little bit, and T. Hill at 6'2", about 190. I don't know how he made the second grab at the ball. Excellent catch. From another angle now. The man from Stanford. Thrill Hill. Watch the second catch. That's got to be concentration.
Enough for a Dallas first down. At their own 42.5, perhaps. 11:14 left to play first quarter as Dorsett slips down. Bob Brudzinski makes sure he stays down.
The turf is natural, and it's a little soggy in the middle, but that's no reason to fall down. The sides of the field are pretty firm. Sometimes you need cleats on the sides of your shoes, but...
It rained very hard here all day Friday. Field was covered, but because it was so windy, some moisture got underneath. And there are some bad spots if you look at Fred Dreyer.
Cowboys are running the screen very well now. Last part of the season, they were really excellent at it.
Good time for it right here. 2nd and 12. Sideline, Drew Pearson made the catch. They call him out of bounds. Rod Perry was in good shape for an interception.
Rod Perry has 8 interceptions, 3 run back for touchdowns, and he's a gambler. And he almost won that gamble. He's only 5'10". He got both of them down, did he?
No, did not. Got one of them down maybe, but not the other. It'll be 3rd down, 12.
These Ram cornerbacks, they come right up and dare you, and they've got good safety men to pick up and help.
That's a lot of the reason they can come up and dare you. Preston Pearson and Tony Dorsett are the 2 backs, but Roger operates from the shotgun this time. That one will be in bounds to Butch Johnson, but it will not be enough for a first down. Nolan Cromwell, the Ram defensive back.
It's, again, the short out to the same side. Pretty good call when you think it has just been run and almost picked off. Butch goes up, gets both down, and here comes Danny White's first punt.
Danny White, who did just an excellent job last week and the week before that, or 2 weeks before that, in the final week of the regular season against the Jets. But after Roger was knocked out last week against Atlanta, Danny White was superb. Jackie Wallace, the NFC's leading punt returner, is deep for the Rams. Trying to get it out of bounds, and he does. About the 17 where the Rams will operate with the football for the first time. No score as yet. 10-17 left to play in the first quarter. A 35-yard punt by Danny White. The Rams will operate next.
Ford technology creates the all-new Ford LTD, a a new American road car designed for today's driving. The all-new Ford LTD offers more passenger room than any LTD ever. Yet this LTD is sized for today, with even easier handling and parking than last year, and a higher mileage rating. Discover a remarkable new LTD driving experience. The luxurious all-new Ford LTD, a new American road car at your Ford dealer.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, where's Bob?
I thought he was with you.
Oh,
You're kidding.
He's not down yet.
Hey, don't you think something happened?
Let's start looking.
Hey! How about a Lowenbrow? Bob!
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Hey, you know, for a minute there, you really had us worried.
I know. Thanks.
Over 71,000 at the Los Angeles Coliseum to watch the Rams and Cowboys do battle to see who's going to play Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl. The pom-pom mom is very active.
She made the Pro Bowl team this year.
Unanimous choice. First down Rams. Pat Hayden, the quarterback, and John Capoletti will carry the first time. It's a tough team to run against. Those guys in blue.
Hollywood Henderson. Right. Hollywood made a great play. Thought the Rams might go that direction just to see if his shoulders worked as well as his mouth, and it usually fires him up after he's made a few statements that he plays better. Watch Hollywood play off Bryant's block, the 240-pound fullback, and get under Cappy.
Harvey Martin helped out. Larry Cole, by the way, is starting in place of Jethro Pugh from the Dallas defense.
And this is some Ram offensive line. 4 out of the 5 are going to that Pro Bowl game.
They have 9 altogether, so does Dallas in the Pro Bowl. Flex is the front that Pat Hayden sees right now, and Capoletti will have good yardage. He fumbled. Dallas has it. Charlie Waters picked up the fumble by John Capoletti, and he's gone.
And that's the one thing that the Rams haven't done on offense much this year. Bryant hadn't fumbled at all, and Capoletti's pretty sure-handed.
The first turnover belongs to Dallas.
Watch the draw. Behind the Ram quarterback, Saul goes out on Brunig, the middle linebacker. Mack has tied up Randy White. I believe it's Larry Cole that forced it out. Larry's in his 11th year and playing better than ever.
The Cowboys have the first break. 9:28 left to play first quarter, and Dallas is out of the huddle. Scott Laidlaw and Tony Dorsett. That's a motion setup we haven't seen before. Dorsett cutting back to the inside and getting out of the grasp of one man out of another now. Dorsett with that great acceleration goes out of bounds by Jack Reynolds.
Elmendorf made a good shot coming up from the safety spot. Again, he's watching the tight end make his block. Brzezinski fires through. He gets caught inside. Now watch the move right here. Elmendorf's a great tackler. He doesn't even get with one hand on him. And Hacksaw does. And remember, Greg Pruitt for the Cleveland Browns gave the Rams a lot of trouble. Speed is one of the problems.
Dorsett got about 8. We'll make it 2nd and 2 as the Ram defense is standing deep in a hole at the moment. No score. 9:21 left to play first quarter. Dallas at the Ram 22. Scott Laidlaw inside the 20 to about the 19. Should be enough for a first down. Mike Fanning made the stop.
Fred Pryor and Mike Fanning made the stop. First down for the Cowboys.
Some sight.
That was some turnover. When you make 8 or 9 yards and then fumble it deep in your own territory, the other team gets it, your defense has got to say, okay, it's our turn.
The #1 offense in the NFC, that's Dallas. The #1 defense in the NFL, that's Los Angeles. Dorsett came up with a rebound from Pearson. I don't know how. Pat Thomas made the tackle.
Drew Pearson was the man in motion, and he was coming under what we call a 4. That means you let the linebackers and all go back, and they clear out with the deeper receivers. And that time, he almost spiked it and gave it to 33.
Look at that again. See how that happened.
Let's see what happened with 88 now. Let's see if they clear out. There he comes back in motion. Now he goes under. Here's the throw, and he's being jostled, and here's Dorsett with it. It's like lighting a stick of dynamite.
Jack Reynolds hit him. Dorsett came up with the football. 5-yard gain is all they got out of all that confusion. That's what it was. And here is Dorsett on the inside. Handoff with some room. Dorsett out of bounds at the 2 by Pat Thomas. Good-looking play. 13 yards for Dorsett.
Watch Burton Lawless, number 66, to the right of your screen. He'll go outside and log Brzezinski, the linebacker, in. A great block at high speed. Well, we've said before, you don't have to get much, just some kind of contact.
Just that little dip with the shoulder set that block up for Wallace.
The upper part of Dorsett's body never seems to move. Down below things change around, but watch the upper part, how stable it is. Now inside those shoes, he makes a few moves, but the upper part's very stationary.
First and goal, Dallas. It is still Laidlaw and Dorsett. Dorsett probably needs a rest, so it'll be Laidlaw. Spins out, fumbles into the end zone. Dallas is all over it, but Jack Youngblood comes up with it. Not yet, now he does.
Was he in the end zone before he fumbled, or had he... I believe the Rams got the football.
They did. The Rams got the football.
Okay, you can be the headlinesman. Here it is, an inside trap play. That's Rafferty making the block. Laidlaw is going to spin now. Watch that ball closely. He fumbled it before he got in there. He fumbled it off his own side guard. I think Elmendorf forced it. That's a live ball now.
Laidlaw has a chance. So does Dorsett. So does Donovan. But Youngblood comes up with it, and the Rams will take over at their own 20. What a break.
Scavenger hunt.
Not again. You okay? Oh, I was running to rent a car, and this man was tying his shoelace, and just as I was about to jump over him, he stood up.
If you had an Avis Wizard number and a reservation, you could walk through airports. Just show your credit card, license, sign, and get your car.
Oh, good, let's go.
Avis. Whoa. Whoa.
I'm walking through airports.
Avis now features GM cars.
Avis, we don't know another way.
Oh, no! My blind date's early.
Whew. You sure didn't spend any time getting dressed.
Linda, tell him I'll be there in a minute.
Maybe he'd look better in Hager's slacks. Or Hager's sport coat and slacks. He could even afford a Hager-vested suit. And that's a look I can't afford to pass up.
Oh.
Hi.
Susan?
Close enough. For me,
Hager, because looking good makes you feel good.
Ready or not, here I come.
Don't miss the thrills and excitement of the 5th Annual International Circus Festival of Monte Carlo. A fantastic hour from the glamorous Riviera. Wednesday at 8:30, 7:30 Central and Mountain.
There's the scramble again, and Jack Youngblood gets it for the Rams, and on first down they go with 3 wide receivers and go deep for run. Jesse picked off by Randy Hughes at midfield. They had 3 wide receivers in the game, the Rams did, and Dallas guessed with them correctly because they had an extra defensive back in the game.
And Pat Hayden had a lot of pressure put on him. Watch Larry Cole, number 63. And Hughes was in. It looked like the last-minute change into the nickel defense by Dallas paid off.
Hughes is about 6'4 and a half. Of course, Jesse can really jump. But turnovers, there have been 3 already. And we still have 7.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. No score.
And Hayden's 20th interception of the year, and that time he threw it a little bit blindly.
Larry Cole was looking right down at him. First down, Dallas at the Ram 48. Going right after it. Outside it goes Laidlaw, and a penalty marker goes down. Jim Youngblood on the coverage. Probably holding.
Pass protection, huh? Pittsburgh ran this play against Youngblood a little bit by faking to the back and making the linebacker that likes to tackle people respect it and then dump it to him.
Let's go down to the field and get a report from Frank Glieber.
which is that Dallas needs to score early to get in front of the Rams because of all the momentum provided by the fans. They are really loud, and the Cowboys would like to quiet them down with a score. Also talked to Thomas Henderson a moment ago as he went on the field. He looked at me and winked and said, "This is the moment of truth."
Well, I guess he should know. Thank you, Frank.
2 big turnovers, and Dallas isn't on the scoreboard yet.
Back to their own 41 now. Pitches back to Tony Dorsett. Out of the grasp of a tackler. Fred Dreyer, and Jim Youngblood finally gets him out of bounds.
At the 47-yard line by Jim Youngblood.
But Dorsett is struggling back to his feet. And limping.
Went to a bad place, but nobody in the Rams bench jumped on him or anything.
He's asking for help.
A little bit of speed here. Watch the cut.
Dorsett is off on the far side of the field, and Preston Pearson has replaced him. And as good as Dorsett is, they don't suffer too much when Preston comes in. Faking a blitz. Youngblood off the ball early, and I think offside. Tony Hill, the intended receiver, I believe.
Remember we were talking to the Atlanta people about the shotgun?
Yeah.
About whether it took a lot of time to get your hand on it if you're the tailback?
Illegal motion against Dallas. Tony Hill might have jumped. Youngblood jumped early, you saw that, but Hill had already gone by that time. There's Dorsett. Left ankle, would you think?
Left foot.
Left foot.
It's a valuable piece of urgent.
Down, the foot was down. Yeah. Come on. They're right there.
That's what he's done so far.
Preston Pearson's only carried the ball for 104 yards on 25 carries. He's not used to full-time duty.
But remember the great game that he had here in 1975.
3 touchdowns.
The Cowboys beat the Rams and went on to the Super Bowl, lost to Pittsburgh that year. As a wild card team they were. 2nd and 20.
Tough play.
Shotgun formation. Trying to set up a screen pass, and does, to Preston Pearson, but Jackie Wallace is right there.
And the Rams' nickel defense pays off. Again, the man in motion that you saw fly by was Pearson. Boy, Wallace came right on by Fitzgerald and made the play from under. He's the free safety man. It's about 12 yards off the ball.
Jackie Wallace, who spent time with Minnesota, spent time with Baltimore, and eventually came here and was cut. And then was called back. What a good job he's done all year. 3rd down, and they do not shotgun it this time. Rodgers up under the center. Preston Pearson directly behind him. And Rushers controlled pretty well as Staubach looks out to the right and now throws back across the field. Billy Joe Dupree has it. It will not be enough for a first down as Dave Elmendorf is there with him. Danny White will punt, but watch that pass protection.
Boy,
excellent.
Offensive line did a heck of a job. You look at it. The Rams are trying to stunt. By that they twist. Ends go in and the tackles go out. I'm telling you, Roger had about 9 seconds. But a very dangerous throw. However, Dupre's a pretty safe target. He's so darn big, right?
Rayfield Wright did a heck of a job on Jack Youngblood. And that's a matchup we'll watch throughout the day. That's been an old and tough rivalry. Danny White back for Dallas and Jackie Wallace deep for the Rams. High kick, trying to get it out of bounds. And goes into the end zone. Hit it about the 6 and took off. 48-yard kick by Danny White, and the Rams will operate again from their own 20 with 5 minutes and 21 seconds left to play in the first quarter, and there is still no score.
The new pension laws were driving me crazy, so I called the Connecticut General people. And did they come through for me?
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
We had some dental bills. Then my company got a Connecticut General Group dental plan. CG sure came through for us.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
Call us. We'll come through for you, too.
This is no ordinary industrial furnace. It belongs to the first plant of its kind in America that traps waste gases and burns them as boiler fuel. The system was built by Phillips Petroleum, so we can take what would have been air pollution and use it for power, turning potential air pollution into energy while we make fine products for your car. That's performance. From Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
Hi, we're with Denver's Pony Express. See us on CBS Sports Spectacular's NFL Cheerleaders Classic. Go Broncos!
Been a great year for cheerleaders, and it's going to be a great night tomorrow on CBS. It's your first kiss. Charlie Brown.
Make sure you add that. And White Shadow, which is a great show, you know.
Yeah. Followed by MASH and then by Lou Grant. And the embraceable news that the Rams look on with this most enthusiastic crowd. John Capoletti swings wide to his left. Tackled, if you can call it that, by Cliff Harris. It was more like a ride.
That time they handled Randy White and took him down and kicked Harvey Martin outside. It's the big pass rushing side of the Dallas defense, but once in a while you can run at it. Look at Mack get outside of 54 and cut him off. Harvey Martin ran himself out of it. And again, the safety men had to make the tackle. And this time, no fumble.
10 yards, a first down for Capoletti. 4:50 left to play in the first quarter. No score. Line of scrimmage, the Ram 31. Capoletti got 11. He and Cullen Bryant are the setbacks, and that's Bryant. He got 100 last week. He is stopped by Ed Jones.
I think we've told you during the year that Too Tall Jones signals whether the Dallas defense is going to hit or not. If the big man's got the fire in his eyes, they're tough. Bryant, by the way, is weighing 241. That's the first carry of the day.
Ray Malavasi. The offensive play is one-sided in Dallas' favor. 5 yards for Cullen Bryant. They get 2nd and 5 as Pat Hayden drops to throw and does throw. Capoletti almost to midfield to about the 48 before the pursuit of Randy White gets him.
Capoletti's getting up slow. Great block on the outside by Hura, the big right offensive guard, number 60. Cappy is going to have to shake this one off. The Rams are running back thin now. Watch this play. I'll tell you, Hayden's a pretty cool little customer. Watch the block by number 60, Hura. A roll-em-up block in the open field, and Waters couldn't handle it. Good play.
Capoletti is out, and Rod Phillips has taken his place. Hayden throws. It's caught by Terry Nelson, the tight end. He fumbles, and Cliff Harris is storming down the far sideline with the ball, but they're going to say he was down.
Terry Nelson is one of the great tight ends around. He and Charlie Young are both on this squad. And Nelson is on the roster at about 225. He's now weighing 240. And he could be the difference because he's going to make those Dallas safety men stay home a little bit.
That's Charlie Waters, and that is Whistling Ray. He's from Dallas.
He just got in town.
1st and 10 Rams. At the Dallas 40, no score. Hayden gets on a draw play to Rod Phillips. He got a couple before Jethro Pugh made the tackle with Ed Jones' help.
Capoletti is sitting on the trainer's table. Right now, Phillips is in, and while Phillips is a fine backup player, Capoletti catches it, controls it, and of course, there's a man that had the big game against Pittsburgh that night.
Capoletti's problem, we think, is with his shoulder. It'll be 2nd down now, and 8. Wide receiver Ron Jesse comes in motion. Pat Hayden is looking in his direction and throws high over his head. Benny Barnes, who had such a tough time with Jesse in week number 3, when Ron caught 7 passes, was the Dallas defender. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Rams and the National Football League is prohibited.
Capelletti, we're told, has a separated shoulder.
And he's through for the day.
At least at halftime.
Third down, Dallas fakes the blitz. And let's see if it's a fake. Not necessarily. Billy Waddy. Hayden read it perfectly. Benny Barnes on the tackle. But they showed too soon.
That's right, and the Rams were ready for it. This was not a checkoff. Inside goes Waddy, who's a 4.45 40 man. And a great tackle by Barnes, or this could have been 6. Look at this tackle. 1 foot.
A heck of a job by Hayden.
He didn't overthrow it either. He just got enough on it to get it there cleanly.
Rams got a first down at the Cowboy 30. A minute, 10 seconds left first quarter. 0-0 game. That's Cullen Bryant, and Big Cullen bangs for about 6 before Bob Brunig. A little discussion going on between Harvey Martin and Doug France. Jim Youngblood over on the Ram bench. Let's see what happened to Harvey if we can pick it up.
Watch the blocking on that side. Doug France and Harvey Martin. France weighs 288. Harvey's going about 250. Well, they're working that left side. Look at Mack go out on Randy White. Saul turns in Larry Cole. And Bryant's got good straight-ahead speed and big.
That was quite a tangle between France and the beautiful Harvey Martin. 6-yard pickup. Cullen gets the call again, and this time Harvey wins that fight.
He's been playing with a bad knee most of the year. That time he took the inside and got away with it. You're right down the line of scrimmage. If you think it's safe down there, get your Blue Cross paid up. It's tough. Good play by Harvey.
Coming up is play number 10 in this drive, and that will take place in the other direction because that's the end of the first quarter. At the end of one, it's Los Angeles 0, Dallas 0.
Nancy Hamilton will cross our path 8 times today. We're S-Mark. We own the companies that supply her peanut butter and turkeys, rubber gloves, and baby nursers, fertilizer, oil filters and motor oil, gasoline. We're S-Mark, a big company with a big stake in Nancy Hamilton and in you.
A beautiful new breed of Mustang is off and running for '79. The all-new Mustangs from Ford. Dramatic new styling in a full line of 2-door and 3-door hatchback models. From the elegance of a thoroughbred gear to the excitement of Mustang Sport, with a wide choice of engines, powertrains, and options to satisfy a wide range of needs. And a sticker price to help you bring one home. Capture the beautiful new breed of Mustang for '79 at your Ford dealer now.
The challenges are on the courts, in the water, and in the air. Don't miss CBS Sports Challenge of the Sexes next Sunday. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
And don't forget that the NBA on CBS will follow the challenge of the sexes. Regional game coverage next week. The Knicks against the surprising Kansas City team. Chicago against Milwaukee. And Los Angeles against Seattle. Next Sunday, 1:45 Eastern Time here on CBS.
Pat Hayden is 3 of 5 for 34 yards. Looks to me like Waller and Malavasi all have a pretty good game plan.
This Ram drive now in its 10th play. Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier. And the NFC Championship game at the Los Angeles Coliseum. A quarterback draw by Hayden. Larry Cole and Bob Brunig, I believe, on the tackle.
I don't think that's too good for the game plan, nor the quarterback. Can't believe with Cullen Bryant back there, you're going to Let Pat Hayden at 5'10", 180 pounds, try to do a sneak against that bunch.
So much for the game plan.
But they got a kicker that was in range when they took the ball over midfield.
Nolan Cromwell will hold for Frank Corral, who kicked 29 field goals in the regular season.
He's 15 of 18 from inside the 30 or out to the 30.
This one will be from 39. Nope. Still no score.
Corral is 8 of 11 from this distance. And Henderson almost got there.
And you can tell from his reaction, it's still 0-0.
RCA announces a major improvement in video cassette recording. Introducing SelectaVision 400. Set it today, and for the next 7 days, the 400 remembers the shows you want recorded. It'll turn itself on and off up to 4 times, even change channels. SelectaVision 400, the 4-hour video cassette recorder with the 7-day memory.
See a demonstration at your participating RCA dealer this week and get this Guinness Book of Sports Records free.
What you got there, pal?
Oh, Harry, it's a Stanley garage door opener. I'm gonna do it myself.
You?
The Stanley garage door opener is made to install yourself. Everything is in the box.
Need any help, pal?
Nope.
The directions are clear and simple, and it only takes about 4 hours.
Are you sure you don't need any help?
The do-it-yourself garage door opener from Stanley, the do-it-yourself company.
We wanna help you do things right. Not bad, pal. Stanley, we wanna help you do things right.
Introducing Hertz Takeoff Rates. Save up to 35% on the average weekday rental when you take off Thursday through Sunday for a minimum of 2 to 3 days. Take off in a subcompact for only $13.95 a day. Fairmont's $15.95. Granada $17.95. Thunderbird's $21.95 a day. All with no charge for mileage. There are some restrictions, so check with Hertz. Take off next weekend with Hertz Low Takeoff Rates.
Whoever said Pat and I didn't like 3 in a booth must be out of their mind. Lonnie, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
How's the show doing? WKRP Cincinnati.
It's doing wonderfully. We're back in production, and we go on the air a week from tomorrow night at 9:30, following MASH, right before Lou Grant.
Well, all of us in the business love it because it really is what our business is all about.
That's true. That's true.
And you're refreshed. You like the game?
Oh, I love it.
Let's get back.
Exciting. Okay.
Good luck, Lonnie.
I don't know whether she looks better in person or on camera.
She's a #1 draft choice, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Robert Newhouse in the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys now, along with Tony Dorsett, who's been taped up. Some confusion is settled by Jack Youngblood of the Rams. No score. Both teams have had chances.
You're behind Dorsett, the tailback. The fake almost. Newhouse looked like he hit it with his shoulder pad. And Roger, of course, has been in so many big games, he just said, we'll wait till the next one.
Newhouse, of course, broke his bone in his leg back during the regular season and hasn't played much.
He was looking for the ball, Pat.
He and Dorsett have a setback. Second and 12, and Newhouse will get the carry. He struggles for 3 or 4 before Jack Reynolds and Jim Youngblood stop him. Pat Hayden, Ram quarterback, been criticized in many areas, but he has his team in the championship game. They say he's too short. They say he doesn't have a good enough arm, but he's a winner.
He sure is a winner. And he doesn't do any alibi when the things don't go well for him. But when he beat Pittsburgh that night, I thought he did as good a job of running an offense as any quarterback I'd ever seen.
Cowboys have Tony Hill and Drew Pearson both split wide to the left, and Butch Johnson over on the right. A lot of power. Roger Staubach firing for Preston Pearson, overthrows him just a bit. Jackie Wallace on the coverage, and we'll see Danny White again.
Pretty good coverage. That ball was laid out smoothly and neatly, but that's the only place that Wallace wouldn't have gotten a hand on it.
The Pittsburgh Steelers overpowered Houston today at Three Rivers Stadium. And they'll be in the Super Bowl against one of these two.
We've seen Danny White throw from this formation, run from it, and punt very well from it. I have a feeling he's going to kick this one pretty solid.
This will be number 3 if he does. The Rams have not had to punt yet. Jackie Wallace back there all by himself. Number 11 is Danny White. They don't put any pressure on him. And he lines a good kick to Wallace. Wallace fumbled and got it back. 46-yard kick by Jackie Wallace. That first Cowboy down. 46-yard kick by Danny White, handled by Jackie Wallace. That was Benny Barnes' first down.
Billy Waddy, his own man, is the one that went by and knocked the ball out. Look what he found. He found the ball again.
Yeah, Thomas Henderson was right there.
When I bought my Pinto, I figured it was a good value, but I didn't know how good until my dad started borrowing it.
So I ended up buying my own.
Then I bought one. And I bought one.
And I bought one.
And we bought 2.
Join the Pinto family with new styling and new features for $79. Compare Pinto. It may be the best small car buy in America.
Where's Mom?
Hey, that's only 7 Pintos. Hey, there's Mom now. Hi, Mom. That makes 8 Pintos and 8 Schluters that love them.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Hello, Constable.
Hi, Dad.
I heard a rumor you finally passed the bar exam.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Frank?
Frank will have the prime ribs and a couple of Lowenbrow.
Prime ribs? Lowenbrow? What are you doing?
Buying dinner for the guy who put me through law school.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Just the good friends.
Good friends.
Wednesday, join the 9th Annual Entertainer of the Year Awards with your favorite stars and everybody's favorite host, Jackie Gleason. It's a wonderful Wednesday.
Rams have the football at their own 29. 1st and 10, no score.
Harvey Martin against Big Doug France, huh?
Ed Jones against John Williams on the other side. Hit before he got back to the line of scrimmage by Larry Cole was Rod Phillips. John Capoletti. Our information is that he has a separated shoulder. We don't expect to see him back.
You can sometimes strap him down at halftime, but you move any part of the arm, and it just feels like a knife's going through you. That time, the flex did a pretty good job. Harvey Martin got into that play and helped Cole out, and that's what it's supposed to do.
Harvey looking into that Ram backfield. Hayden. That was Cullen Bryant right straight up the middle, and it was Randy White who made the tackle. Embraceable you.
Larry White and Randy Cole.
Cullen Bryant goes to Gold's Gym out here on the coast, which is where the pump and iron guys go. And they said he'll throw around 500 pounds now. We're talking about a press. And his arm at one time was the best arm, if that's the kind of stuff you judge in that, the best arm in California. I don't know about the rest of the body, but his arm is number 1.
Well, it seems okay. Hayden fires to the outside, and that should be Ron Jesse. Stopped by Benny Barnes, and he's got a Ram first down. Good throw from Hayden.
I'll tell you, Hayden's arm ain't bad either, right? The deep sidelines, and John Unitas, all of them will tell you, it's the toughest one. You have to hump it because you throw the ball a long way. And, of course, Jesse has Benny Barnes off of him because Jesse can burn anybody, and burned Barnes pretty badly the last time.
7 he caught. Tom Landry looking on. Scott Laidlaw almost had a touchdown for the Cowboys, fumbled into the end zone, and in the scramble, Jack Youngblood of the Rams came up with it. That was their threat. Cullen Bryant surges for about 5 before Bob Brunick can get him down. And Cullen just needs a little screen, and he's big and strong enough to cave a defense in by himself.
And a lot of people in football will tell you the line he's running behind when they're not caught holding is about the best blocking unit in football. They're big, they're strong, they're ornery.
Doug France, John Williams the tackle, McIntyre the guards, and Saul the center. It's a good group. 10 minutes, 10 seconds left before the half as Jesse goes in motion. 2nd down. Hayden this time with adequate protection, throws high.
Hollywood Henderson thought he should have intercepted that ball, but even the greatest of athletes couldn't have sky-hooked and come down with that one.
It's intended for Terry Nelson. And so it'll be third down, and Dallas comes in with an extra linebacker in the person of Mike Hegman and 2 extra defensive backs, Randy Hughes and Mark Washington.
We're told we might even see 5 receivers at the same time for the Rams and no running backs at all before this is over.
Haven't seen it yet, but now they have 3 speed receivers in the game. And Hayden drops. Hayden is being chased, but he's got a lot of room down that far sideline. Pat Hayden to the 40. And is taken down at the Dallas 36 by Cliff Harris.
They've watched past Pat Hayden from West Covina to USC, Rose Bowls. And he had a 6.2 yard rushing average coming in. Now watch him cut it down. Good block by Saul on Ed Too Tall Jones, and Larry Cole has no chance from here on. Now he puts it away like he was taught in high school and takes what he can get.
All the way down to the Dallas 36 of the Rams. An 18-yard scramble by Pat Hayden. Cullen. And again, he is in the grasp of Charlie Waters, but that surge got 5.
That time Harvey Martin gets caught inside, and Doug France, the big fellow, just buried him. Now you're right down there. Watch the left part of your screen. Time they attacked the flex and got away with it. Waters, the safety man, makes the tackle.
Terry Nelson with an excellent block on Thomas Henderson.
Tell you, Max did a good job on Randy White, too. You're right.
Hayden chased by Jones, throws. Penalty marker is down. The pass is complete to Jesse. Covered by Barnes, but the flag is down.
The Rams offensive team had 133 penalties this year.
That was high, wasn't it?
Well, it was darn high. And against Los Angeles, 7 of those were holdings.
That's the first Ram penalty of today.
Good coverage by Barnes on that. We'll get the name and number.
From Ben Dreif, the referee.
Load it up, Ben, and tell us who it is.
Offensive holding, number 75.
He has that reputation, does number 75, John Williams.
Yep, and the new rules and everything. That's been the one problem this great line has had. They get caught.
That's about the only way you could block Ed Jones, though, is to hold him.
Low. Hope he falls.
Wide receiver set up again as Billy Waddy, Ron Jesse, and Willie Miller are all in the game. The handoff is to Cullen Bryant, and he bangs down to about the 32, but again, the penalty marker is down.
Boy, Dennis Harrah went outside that time and trapped Too Tall Jones, Ed, and stopped him dead in his tracks. Of course, Herky weighs 260.
Offside, Dallas.
Ram offensive line. Very macho bunch, huh?
Yeah, very good, too.
Well, the tension gets him. Look at the old nail-biter himself, huh? New hat, though. That's a gray fedora.
Very well-dressed fellow. He always is. Tom Landry from Mission, Texas. Here's Ben Dreif again. Let's hear it.
Offside defense, number 79. That's second down.
79, of course, is Harvey Martin. Charlie Waters signaling some kind of defensive coverage. Dennis Thurman in the game and on defense for Dallas, along with Randy Hughes.
You better get Willie Miller covered up. He hasn't had a ball thrown his direction yet.
He's number 82. We'll watch him. Coming across, and again, that must be Ron Jesse.
There he is.
Thurman on the coverage, but it's a Ram first down. 13 yards on the catch.
And he's coming under. He'll come from the left side of your screen. Pretty good pass protection. A late rush on him. And a great catch by Jesse, who had 49 during the year. High jumper at 6'8", 26-foot long jumper at Kansas. pretty fair country athlete.
30 years old now, but an excellent athlete. He comes out of the game now. Greeted by his Ram teammates, Bill Simpson, and here's Cullen Bryant. Ducks under a couple of Dallas tacklers and is finally stopped by Bob Brunet. Lost his helmet in the process. Larry Cole is the Cowboy he ducked under.
Dallas is chasing a lot now. They're trying to shut off the run. Look how quickly they're making the pursuit. Make a mistake and come back with a roll-away screen back to the weak side. You can make some yardage, baby.
Again, the 10th play of this drive is coming up. Rams at the Dallas 20. There is still nothing on the scoreboard. Frank Corral missed a field goal for Los Angeles. Dallas fumbled in the end zone. Reverse coming to Waddy. That was well diagnosed. Henderson has the football and is waving. Come on, try to catch me.
I don't know if anybody in the field could catch him once he gets ahead of steam up. 9-4 in the 100 at Langston College. Let's see what happens on the play. It's the reverse. Let's see how Larry Cole gets involved in it. Oh, it's Harvey Martin.
Harvey Martin.
Ball was ruled down on the tackle.
3rd and 17.
Thomas Henderson was very vocal during the week. And those quotes that he made about the Rams not having enough class to be in the Super Bowl were well publicized. He also said something to the effect that we're going to kick their behinds.
But he used the word we. It was plural.
Anthony Davis in the backfield now for the Rams. Jesse was in motion. Hayden drops. The protection is good, and Hayden throws, overthrows, intended for Willie Miller.
I think Billy Waddy might have run the wrong pattern. The deep corner pattern and then back to the post by Waddy, and I don't believe he was supposed to drag his man in there. This could have been picked. In fact, Miller laid off of it when he saw Waddy coming across.
Benny Barnes is the Dallas defender you just saw flash across your picture. And Frank Corral will try again. This time from 45 yards out. Nolan Cromwell is the holder.
And he's 8 of 12 from this distance, and he's won 3 football games in the last few seconds for the Rams.
Certainly strong enough to get it there from this distance. 45 yards down. Wide left. And so with 5:55 left to play in the first half of this NFC Championship game, it is still Dallas nothing, Los Angeles nothing.
All across our land, people know our brand.
Come on,
you
guys.
can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
See that, men? You can trust AC spark plugs. And remember AC filters to help protect your engine from dirt and dust. Right, Ben? Ben? Heads!
Drive through dirt and dust. Good filters are a must. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Filters by AC. Plugs and filters by AC.
Copier companies have been introducing small copiers with a very interesting claim.
It's just as good as a Xerox.
It's just as good as a Xerox. Then one day... this compact copier is very versatile. It even copies on your own letterhead. It's inexpensive, but best of all...
I know. It's just as good as a Xerox.
It is a Xerox. The Xerox 2600, the compact copier that really is just as good as a Xerox.
Next Saturday on the new look CBS Sports Spectacular, see the fight of the week, World Cup skiing, the Hollywood stunt competition, and more. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
No, we got to set up now. If he cuts the lineman, then I'm going. We got to set up with him.
And also, now I told
what they're doing
run the 10-3 and this guy comes from. No fifth thickness, because that's the guy that's going to, because that cornerback's
That's one of the fine coaches in football talking to Charlie Waters. That was Gene Stallings. Speaking of spectacular things, as we were about the Sports Spectacular a minute ago, Wednesday night on CBS should be also.
Telly Savalas in Monte Carlo. That alone is a special show.
The Jeffersons, the 5th Annual International Circus Festival. And and the 9th Annual Entertainer of the Year Award Show. All that on CBS on Wednesday night. Jackie Smith starts in motion, no flag. Roger Staubach still the Dallas quarterback. Robert Newhouse has joined Tony Dorsett. No scores yet.
First game, Dorsett was held to 60-some-odd yards rushing, and the ball popped up a lot. You saw a lot of football, and a lot of the Rams thought if they could get his attention early, they might get some turnovers.
I think they got his attention all right.
Trouble is, if you make one mistake, he's in the end zone putting it down and line up for the extra point.
Hurt his ankle a little bit earlier. Think about the running backs that the Rams have lost this year. Kendall Tyler, Elvis Peacock, Lawrence McCutcheon, and now John Capoletti. Roger Staubach down the middle, intended for Dupree. Intercepted. Simpson. Out of bounds at the 31. Safety man Bill Simpson. Now they say no. Not intercepted. They say he trapped it.
It looked like he tried to get out and make sure he got his hands under it. He had 2 against Minnesota last week. Watch this safety man now. Here's the fake. The ball is really whistled, but he missed the receiver, Staubach did. Yeah, a little bit of grass maybe on the bottom side of that ball.
Maybe. Very close. Billy Joe Dupree was the intended receiver. Dave Elmendorf was covering him. That was close.
On AstroTurf, though, there wouldn't have been any mark. On this old grass, there's probably a little bit of a piece of mud on it.
Preston Pearson has replaced Newhouse in the offensive setup, which is now the shotgun. They blitz it, and it works. Cody Jones and Dave Elmendorf sack Roger. 76 is Cody Jones.
The 8th sack of the year for Cody Jones. Watch the left part of your screen. Now the right part, because Cody went all the way, the great polar route. He and Elmendorf met right at number 12, and Roger still fought the tackle.
And almost got away from him. Danny White. Again to kick, he has averaged 43 yards today. Jackie Wallace back to the Rams. This will be his 4th punt. And Los Angeles still has not kicked. Put the rush on. White shanks it. Off the side of his foot.
Whoa.
And the Rams will have the ball in Dallas territory. Not one of his better efforts. And they have reason to cheer. 23 yards is all Danny White could manufacture out of that punt. The Rams fans are excited again.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer will
Brown. What's all this? Compliments of the gentleman at the bar, sir.
So tonight...
That is no gentleman. That's Tom Grant. Tom, I don't believe it. What's it been, 5 years?
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Somebody's got to say it, you two. Here's to good friends.
All right.
Since 1903, there have been more than 2,500 new cars introduced in America. But of all those cars, the best-selling new car ever introduced was this one, Ford Fairmont. Presenting Fairmont 79, again with the most room for the money of any car. An EPA-estimated MPG unsurpassed by any midsize automatic and the lowest sticker price in its class. From sedans to wagons to exciting Futura, the best-selling new car ever introduced, Ford Fairmont. Test drive one at your local Ford dealer.
71,000 on hand. Los Angeles Coliseum and Madison Square Garden will be busy next week for the Grand Prix Masters. Next Saturday at 3.
Jimmy Connors is now in that field, right?
Right. 4 on Sunday. Connors, McEnroe, Eddie Dibbs, Brian Gottfried, Harold Solomon. All of them have qualified, and McEnroe and Connors are in the same bracket. So they'll play early. Larry Cole takes down Cullen Bryant.
Rams have over 60 yards rushing already. 20 of that, of course, by Pat Hayden. but their field position is decent for the first time. The Rams had it on the 17, they fumbled, the 20, an interception, the 20, a missed field goal. They started from these yardages, the 29, and they started this time at the 46.
And Danny White starts to warm. Over behind the Dallas bench, Roger Staubach seems to be okay. Cullen Bryant and Jim Jodat are now the Ram running backs. Jodat is 43. He gets the carry, and he gets wrapped up and hit by Randy White, who then did a foot slam.
Let's watch it. You're looking right at Tom Mack and Doug France. That's Mack working on White, who is so fast at 250. He beat the block. Now he missed the tackle. Watch this. Whatever you got, you throw it in there.
Kung Fu.
He's got a farm down in Chester County, Pennsylvania, and raises his own food. If you ever see him working out, you'd probably become a health food addict. He is some kind of a specimen.
See how fast he went by Mack?
Very quickly.
Ram third down as Hayden drops. He's rushed, and he'll scramble out of it for a little while anyway. Thomas Henderson and Charlie Waters cut him off at the pass, and the Rams, in spite of that good field position, manufacture nothing. Watch Randy White.
Remember when Randy gets it oiled up and he begins to get sweaty and steaming a little bit, that's when he comes on. This time France took him because of the twist, and he's still looking for somebody.
An injured Cowboy, I believe, is Charlie Waters, and he's being attended to now by Dr. Marvin Knight.
You know, way back in 1911, the only place Harvey Firestone could take his tires to be really tested was Indianapolis, where a bunch of young fellows were starting to race cars. Well, Harvey took his tires to Indianapolis, and every summer he learned a little bit more about them. In fact, he learned so much that 48 Indianapolis winners rode on Firestone.
Today, at Firestone's Proving Ground, Fort Stockton, Texas, there are no cheering crowds, but the object is the same. Learn more about tires. Firestone's 721 steel belted radio is a result of that kind of learning. It took 5 million miles of testing to develop the 721. The tire Harvey Firestone would have been proud of. Because, you know, he always wanted Firestone products to be the best today and still better tomorrow.
The stuffs, the snuffs, the tough breaks, the fast breaks. The NBA on CBS next Sunday. You will say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Even Mac Davis says hi, Mom. Right?
Just the average spectator here at the game, right?
Glenn Walker for the first Ram punt. Tony Hill and Butch Johnson, both back for Dallas. Walker's first activity of the afternoon as the Cowboys shift around.
He's had 2 blocked this year. He's going to get some pressure.
Tony Hill, fair catch signal at the 22, where the Cowboys will operate with 2:23 left to play in the first half. 30-yard kick by Walker.
Looking to see the quarterback is still number 12. I thought maybe that sack where the safety man and Harvey Martin hit him, hurt him, you know.
Maybe Frank Glieber's got some information. Let's check.
A little reaction from the Rams bench here. They're disappointed at the 2 missed field goal attempts, quite obviously, and losing Cappelletti. Surprised a little bit that the Cowboys have been so conservative on offense. They've come out of the conservative offense. They're surprised they haven't been doing better.
Thank you, Mr. Glieber. Roger Staubach is not being conservative right now. He has Dorsett out on the right flank. He splits a couple and finally goes down. Got about 7 or 8. Mike Fanning collapsed him.
Boy, Jim Youngblood wanted him so bad, number 53. And that's the one thing about Dorsett. Now, you're going to have the ball come right into your living room. Watch this. Roger reads it, dumps it off. Now, 53 right now is zeroing in on 33. Watch what happens. I don't think Tony even saw Jim Youngblood.
No score still. 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Mom says Ford's the wagon master. Dad says maybe it's because Ford wagons have so much room. That's Why, we're here.
The all-new LTD with more room for the money than any full-size wagon. Fairmont, more room for the money than any mid-size wagon. Pinto, more cargo room for the money than any small American wagon. Club Wagon, Ford's roomiest wagon. Since 1949, Ford sold 1 million more wagons than anyone else.
Ford wagons outsold all others. I'll accept this one.
Ford, the Wagon Master.
Remember this, a Rhine wine by any other name is not the same. Next time you wonder what white wine to drink, think of Gallo Rhine.
That Ram defense is a solid group.
There's no one weakness you can probe. They're all just good, solid football players. That's the toughest defense you can play against.
2 to go in the first half. 2 minutes, that is. Raimondo Giovanni Giuseppe Baptiste Malavasi. You can call me Ray.
You can't put that on stationary. You got to be just Ray Malavasi, huh?
That's his real name. From Clifton, New Jersey. Good guy.
He sure is.
Great protection for Staubach for a while. And he is down in the grasp of one Fred Dreyer and Jack Youngblood.
Great coverage by the secondary. Roger Staubach did not have anybody open. All right, you're on the line of scrimmage. That's Youngblood now working against Rayfield Wright. Boy, and you're right, Patrick. They battled for a long time. Watch Youngblood. Back to 250 pounds. And the strong side defensive end has to play football, you know it? The weak side guy can be flamboyant. The strong side defensive ends have to really earn their money in this league.
Los Angeles has called a timeout. CBS Sports Spectacular will be spectacular. The NFL Cheerleader Classic that starts at next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. World Cup skiing, a Hollywood stunt competition.
Pretty good fight, too. Konechny against Jack Sharkey. Should be a good matchup.
And speaking of things that you got to keep in mind, that group there will be with you at halftime. Brent, Jane, Irv, and the guy on the left is a man who did such an outstanding job and who was the coach of the year last year in the NFC, Lehman Bennett of the Atlanta Falcons.
They had 10,000 people meet him at the Atlanta airport last week after they lost, just to tell them that they thought they'd done a pretty good job.
I was talking to some people at the Atlanta airport last week after that celebration was over, and they said it's the wildest day they've ever had at the Atlanta airport. And they've had some wild times.
I had to fly with them.
With the fans, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, I got some of them, too. They were proud. Third down, Dallas is Staubach. Goes straight back. Johnson has it. A fine catch for Butch. Wow.
It's one of the great throws you're going to see all year long. Rogers set up in that the pocket. He's had trouble with the right foot and the right hand. Watch this throw. And never saw the rush. Take a picture of that, folks. That's a great strike and an incredible catch.
Remember the catch that Butch made in the Super Bowl against Denver?
Roger says you got to look for those. When you got quality people, you can do it. Staubach has that concentration factor down, doesn't he?
His little finger on that throwing hand, he doesn't use it all when he throws. It looks like a pretzel. Preston Pearson is right behind Staubach now. First down, Dallas. And again, he drops. Again, he has to scramble a little bit. He throws. Wide open is Billy Joe Dupree. Trying to get out of bounds, doesn't. Clock is continuing to run. Rod Perry took him down. Dallas has all of their timeouts left. 23-yard pickup.
There's B.J. 9 touchdowns for the tight end, but this might be one of his big grabs of the year. Boy, this is a great throw running left. Took a little off to make sure it was catchable. And as we told you, a whole suitcase hands put it away.
Rod Perry on the tackle.
Looks like Dallas may be able to control the line of scrimmage a little bit now. They're cutting people down earlier instead of taking them on high.
get our NBA coverage on CBS. Next Sunday at 1:45 Eastern Time, the New York Knickerbockers against Kansas City. Artis Gilmore and his Chicago Bulls against Milwaukee. And the Los Angeles Lakers against Seattle. Regional game coverage next week. The region is right here right now, though. Ram fans more enthusiastic than I think they've ever been.
I've never seen them so close, you know. Staubach, by the way, this man's adversary, is 8 of 11 for 68.
Pittsburgh beat Houston at Three Rivers Stadium earlier today, so the Steelers will go back and try to win a third Super Bowl. That's never been done before.
You realize the Rams beat everybody that was left in the playoffs?
Pardon?
Dallas, Houston, and Pittsburgh during the season.
We'll have highlights, by the way, of that game and the slop in Pittsburgh during the halftime, where it was raining, and I guess conditions there were just miserable. Not if you're a Steeler. First down for the Cowboys, and they operate again from the gun. And the man who runs the gun throws it out of bounds in the direction of Tony Hill.
Boy, and I'll tell you, Big Mike Fanning ran right across the top of Roger. Last week, somebody said when they brought him to, he finally said, "Where's Wayne Harden?" He thought that Navy had just beaten Army.
That's a true story.
That's a truth. That time, Fanning ran right over the top of him. Roger takes punishment very well. Keen eye and a clear head, that fella.
Good athlete.
Bad little finger, but good passer, right?
Still a minute 20 to go, and still no score in the first half at the Los Angeles Coliseum, which is sold out and has been for quite some time. As soon as they knew the game was here, the tickets evaporated. They blitzed. Thrown a little bit behind Billy Joe Dupree. This time Nolan Cromwell on the coverage.
That's the one angle where the sun does hit you right in the eyes, too. BJ looked around, wasn't quite expecting the ball that quickly. And that's the one area in the Coliseum out here where you look back into that western sun. What's nice to have it on your back, though, you know?
Gosh, you remember coming here as a player for the first time and looking at these stands and what an awesome sight this is? That's when the field was in the middle of the Coliseum before they move it down where it is now, and it seated about 110,000, and it was frightening.
But this crowd today is the most crowd I've ever seen in L.A. for enthusiasm.
3rd and 10 situation for the Dallas Cowboys with 1:16 left to play in the first half. And no points on the board yet. The throw is through the hands of Tony Hill, and again, that sun factor you were talking about caused him to lose sight of that. Rod Terry on the coverage, but he just couldn't see it.
There it is. It's no excuse. The ball was thrown pretty well. But number 80 puts these away sometimes. That was a identified flying object. That baby was whistled.
Now look out for this guy. Danny White, of course, can throw the football. He's the backup quarterback, as well as being the punter. 1:12 left to go in the first half. This will be his 5th punt. Jackie Wallace back for the Rams. Think they have a pass play for this formation?
And a running play.
We've seen him run. We'll watch him take a run again. Henderson is down there in good shape, and Dallas will down it at about the 11. Mike Hegman is number 58, who caught the ball as it bounced. A 27-yard kick is all.
But that's a 17th one inside the 20 this year. Good placement.
Next Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, January the 14th, of course, that'll be the premiere of the Challenge of the Sexes.
All right, I think they ought to have a little joust with that.
Roscoe Tanner against Martina Navratilova.
She's in great shape these days, though, isn't she?
Oh, so is he. I played in a tournament with him not too long ago. He pinned me to the wall with that serve.
He's got the big one, hasn't he?
Challenge of the Sexes, don't forget. Next Sunday. 1:02 left. First half, and the Rams will play conservative. Take no chances. Cullen Bryant, the ball carrier,
stop, a gain of 4.
Now, I've been down there on the field, and the quarterback is looking into the sun. That's even worse than your receivers looking into it. If he throws it and loses somebody, it's an INT, and Dallas comes storming in and gets points. He's got to be very careful looking into that.
Both teams have 2 timeouts left, but it certainly appears that the Rams are just going to sit on this 0-0 score and go to the locker room in that shape. They're not in any hurry, and they're not calling any timeouts. Hayden to Cullen, who rarely fumbles. John Cappelletti is gone for the day, we think. Our information was that he separated a shoulder and will not be back. The Rams are short on running backs.
And Dallas begin to lay leather on pretty heavy. You know it, the last couple of defensive series, looks like the Cowboys are awake.
So that would be the end of the first half. I think everybody thought it was going to be a defensive battle. But I think everybody also thought there would be some scores, too, as Ray Malavasi heads in with his Ram team. And Tom Landry will go in with Dallas. And with that, and as those strategy talks will begin shortly, we go now to Brent Musburger.
Okay, Pat and Tommy, thank you very much. I tell you, Lehman, I think both teams should have scored. Laidlaw fumbled going in, and you thought the man was wide open on the Hayden pass.
I thought he was definitely wide open. It looked like Pat should have hit him. And, of course, L.A. they've missed 2 field goals, so there should have been some scores, but it's been a great defensive first half, I think.
Lehman, when Danny White took the short hop down here, is that what he did against you in Dallas before he took off on the punt?
That was exactly what he did against us. He takes one step and then looks up, and if no one's rushing, he simply runs the ball. In our particular case, our people had turned and run back down the field to try to block, and in this particular case, the Rams had some pressure on him, so he went ahead and kicked the ball.
The absence of John Cappelletti.
I think it's a real key in this ball game because John is such a money-type ball player.
Okay. Jane, it's also the second season coming up in programming, and the 3 networks are about to go at it all over again.
Yes, with football in its closing weeks, CBS Television Network continues its dynamic programming. So why don't we take a sneak preview of what's coming up on CBS?
We're coming on bigger, brighter, better. Whenever you're looking, we're cooking. We're coming on. We'll bring it to you. We're humming. We'll show at the show. We're coming on. We're coming on night after night. We're coming on week after week. We're coming on CBS. We're coming on with those crazy kids from Flatbush.
Catch a case of COVID fever, too.
Chase across the country with the daring Dukes of Hazzard. We're coming on with all the laughter and the fun that's good for you.
With the specials. With the biggest movies.
With dancing on, with singing on, with all the stars we're bringing. We're coming on bigger, brighter, better. Whenever you're looking, we're cooking. We're coming on. We'll bring it to you. We're humming. We're showing the show. We're coming on night after night. We're coming on week after week. We're coming on CBS. We're coming on.
Night after night, week after week, we're CBS, and we're coming on.
Jane, I noticed that Rocky is going to be televised on CBS, and of course Rocky 2 is already being made, and I have asked him to go Rocky 3, and then we would televise it live in prime time and get Apollo and Sylvester to finally settle it.
That might not be a bad idea. That would be very interesting. We have a special presentation with very special guests, and Irv Cross is handling that right down on the field.
Thanks very much, Jane. You know, the 1978 Rookie of the Year competition was sponsored by Freshen Up Gum and administered by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Their board of selectors selected 2 rookies, one from each of the NFL conferences. Now, the polling took place by a fan poll where you voted for the rookie of your choice from each conference. Now, to make the presentation to the winners, it's my pleasure to introduce the Vice President of the Warner Lambert Company, Mr. George Pettigrew. Dave Pettigrew. Dave.
I think you got that, Irv. Thank you very much, Irv. Our Freshen Up Gum Rookie of the Year awards have been won by 2 outstanding young men. From the National Football Conference, he comes from Newark, New Jersey. He played for Colorado State University. He was selected number 2 by the Detroit Lions, but he started as immediately a defensive end. This year rather, he had 23 quarterback sacks, a real gentleman and a great player, Mr. Al Bubba Baker. From the American Football Conference, this young man was drafted number 1. He's lived up to all expectations and predictions this year. He broke the rookie rushing record for 1,450 yards. He's not with us today because he's been busy in Pittsburgh, but he comes from Tyler, Texas, was an All-American at the University of Texas, plays for the Houston Oilers, Earl Campbell. Now, unfortunately, because Earl is not here, we do have his sister, Evelyn, and his younger brother, Ronnie, who will accept the awards. This beautiful plaque will be presented, as well as this elegant ring, which will show to all that they are the Freshen Up Gum Rookie of the Year award winners for 1978. So, Irv, we'd like to give it to them now.
All right, Dave, Mr. Dave Pettigrew. This is really an impressive award. Earl Campbell.
There you go, darling. You make sure Earl gets that, huh?
And Al Baker.
There you go, Al. Let's find one for you. There you go. There you go. Pen.
Dave, thank you very much. And congratulations to all of you. Al, what's your reaction to the first half of play out here today?
Well, it's been a fine game so far, and I'm looking forward to the defenses to prevail within the next few minutes here. It's going to be an interesting score, right?
Okay, big guy. Congratulations to all of you. Mr. Pettigrew, thank you very much. Let's go back to Brent Musburger.
All right, Irv, thank you very much. Lehman, Bubba is big enough to wear that ring wherever he wants, right?
That's exactly right. He played an outstanding game against us. In fact, I just made the statement, if he wants to wear it through the nose, it's all right with me. He played great.
Unfortunately for Earl Campbell and the Houston Oilers, it all ran out today. 34-5 as Pittsburgh advances to the Super Bowl. And the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a minute.
Sir, me.
Honest, Sheriff, I didn't know the gum was loaded.
You didn't know Freshen Up was loaded with flavor?
She didn't know the gum was loaded.
The flavor knocked me for a loop.
She didn't know the gum was loaded.
It's not your ordinary chew.
Didn't you know Freshen Up loads delicious gum with refreshing liquid flavor boosters?
Now I do.
Freshen Up.
It's loaded
with flavor.
Well, off on another last-minute business trip, huh?
Yeah, gonna fly the old friendly skies.
You know you could take someone along for half fare?
My wife and I didn't have time to...
No advance notice. She just walks up with you, pays half fare, and away you go.
You mean I could...
And did you know you could take your kids for free?
Oh.
They could be with you right now. No charge.
Oh, thanks, United. I'll be right back. Taxi.
At United, the savings are bigger and the restrictions are smaller.
Fly the friendly skies.
This is the Kmart 672, Kmart's best car battery. Like another leading premium battery, the 672 is calcium lead constructed. Like one other premium battery, it's truly maintenance-free, completely sealed so you never add water. But the 672 has one other feature you'll find only in Kmart automotive products. The 672, Kmart's best battery, is Kmart priced.
The graceful, the powerful, the unpredictable, the unimaginable. These are the moments that make sports spectacular. And this is where they happen, on the New Look CBS Sports Spectacular. Next Saturday, the New Look CBS Sports Spectacular presents the fight of the week, with South African contender Kale Kanotsi taking on slugging Bill Sharkey. You'll also see the world's premier skiers in the Men's World Cup from Switzerland, plus the Hollywood Stunt Competition and NFL Cheerleader Classic. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
So many outstanding football players have started with punt, pass, and kick. Pat Hayden, the Ram quarterback, Danny White of the Dallas Cowboys, and today we've got a new crop of finalists, so let's go to Pat Summerall.
I'm standing here with Gene Cross, the Western Regional Sales Manager of the Ford Division, who helped put together and develop the punt, pass, and kick competition.
Pat, this year, more than 1 million boys and girls across America will participate in punt, pass, and kick. Would you believe that this year we've used over 20,000 footballs, about 18,000 kicking tees, and we'll award almost 74,000 trophies? Today, of course, we'll be awarding 6 more trophies to our national champions.
Have any of those participants gone on and developed into professional football players?
Yes, we've had a number of big names over the years. Oddly enough, Pat, both Danny White, the Dallas Cowboys' superb punter and quarterback, and Pat Hayden, the Los Angeles Rams' outstanding quarterback, participated in PP&K.
I think everybody would agree that those two have gone on to develop their skills, particularly in the last few years.
That's for sure, Pat, and I'm sure that our contestants will be trying just as hard today for success as those two pros.
Gene, congratulations to you and to the people at Ford, and now let's take a look at some of these contestants in action. Ladies and gentlemen, these youngsters have already competed in the kicking and punting events. Now they'll compete to see who can pass the farthest and most accurately. Their scores will be totaled, and we'll see the winners later on. And now, if the officials are ready, let's get to the action down on the field. Our first 8-year-old passer, representing the Cincinnati Bengals, is number 10, Eddie Merrill. The other 8-year-old competitor representing the Dallas Cowboys, number 21, Leon Madison Clay, Jr. And now to the 9-year-old, number 30, representing the San Diego Chargers, Robert Donahue. From the Philadelphia Eagles, number 24, Michael Hunninghake. Next, our 10-year-old contestants, representing the Kansas City Chiefs, number 25, Scott Phelps. Number 24 represents the New York Giants, Garrett Bean. Good arm. And now the 11-year-olds, representing again the Kansas City Chiefs, number 20, Marsh Thompson. The Falcons, Brian Davis. And so there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Now the officials will add up the points, double-check the measurements, and determine the 6 national championship competition winners. We'll announce their names at the end of the 3rd quarter. But right now, let's give these youngsters an encouraging round of applause. We'll return to the Coliseum in Los Angeles after this word from your local station.
Monday, the White Shadow gets a star player with a different kind of record.
Armed robbery, burglary, and assault.
The White Shadow, Monday at a special time.
Tomorrow on CBS.
I'm a Yellow Pages ad. Do a heck of a job in office equipment. The boss even made me a partner. See, we sell cash registers. So I said, put another ad here. We bowled them over. Whoop, and calculators. It was like opening a new territory. Wow! 4 out of 5 people use the Yellow Pages. And you gotta be where they're looking. Hi, boss.
Hi, partner.
Let the Yellow Pages do your talking.
Right now, your oil well is nothing but a hole in the Texas prairie. You've invested plenty just to get this far. But until you bring it in and get it producing, nothing else counts. Go for it. At First National Bank in Dallas, we understand. So when we do business with any business, we give you just what you expect of yourself. At First in Dallas, we give you results. Results, the real measure of a bank.
2 tacos, please. Hey, you got it. And a hamburger. Sorry, just tacos. 2 hamburgers, please. Yes, sir. And do you have an omelet? Sure, you got a couple eggs? You got a couple eggs.
At Jack in the Box restaurant, we've got hamburgers, tacos, breakfast omelets, and a whole lot more. If you haven't tried us lately, come on in.
Now
you're cooking, Jack.
Jack. Jack in the Box.
Get your blood pressure checked.
All right, the second half of this game will determine who plays the Pittsburgh Steelers 2 weeks from today in Miami's Orange Bowl and Super Bowl 13. 8-3, and from then on in, there was just no contest. How many turnovers in that game, leaving all told?
It was amazing. There were actually 11 fumbles in the ball game. There were a total of 14 turnovers. Houston had 5 interceptions and, of course, 4 fumbles, and Pittsburgh had the 2 interceptions and 3 fumbles. So it was really a sloppily played game.
Sure was. Jimmy the Greek, would you have to say right now, before we see the second half, that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be the favorite going into the Super Bowl? I hate to put you on the spot right now.
I think 35 million people think the same thing.
Jimmy, we have reported that Joe Thomas is out with the San Francisco 49ers. Is that accurate? Will that be finalized in the San Francisco Bay Area?
I'm quite sure that it will be, Brent.
And that Bill Walsh of Stanford is going to go in there as the head coach.
Definitely the coach. And one of the reasons that he took it was that he wanted Thomas out.
Okay, now, how about the Oakland Raiders? Tom Flores' name keeps popping up. Will he be the coach for Al Davis?
Brent, Al Davis is going to interview anywhere from 14 to 20 players in the next 3 weeks. Nobody has the job.
Okay, let's now turn our attention to highlights of the first half. A scoreless half, but again, both the Rams and the Cowboys had their chances in the early going in this game and just could not convert. Here is Pat Hayden and the Rams. John Cappelletti, who would later separate a shoulder, fumbled right here. Recovered by Charlie Waters. Now, the Cowboys can't score as Scott Laidlaw fumbles going into the end zone. Charlie White would have gotten 6 for USC on that. Now, here is Pat Hayden in the next sequence, dropping back to pass for Los Angeles. No one open. Too Tall Jones picked up by Saul, and Hayden just rolls out on the scramble, but Frank Corral then missed the field goal. It was still scoreless. Defense excellent on both sides. Watch Harvey Martin read the reverse and take Waddy down. Now it is Staubach finding his receivers covered. He is sacked by Elmendorf and Cody Jones. That's why it's scoreless. Lehman, I am surprised that Tom Landry has not opened up on first down, leave alone second and third against the Rams.
I think he will at this half. I think both teams came out a little bit slowly as far as opening up their offense, and I was somewhat surprised the way the Rams were able to run the ball on the Dallas defensive line, and I do feel from an offensive standpoint that the Rams will open up a little bit more in the second half, as will the Cowboys.
You know, they've lost Cappelletti, and I saw that Doug France was out too. Jackie Slater is now working on Harvey Martin. That could be a factor. Jimmy, what do you think about the second half?
I think it's going to be more conservative than the first. I really do. And each side is going to wait for the other to make a mistake, and like we said, it'll be a field goal that wins it.
Okay, and the winner draws Pittsburgh in Super Bowl 13. We'll be going inside both locker rooms, and we'll have a post-game show as the NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
A good quarterback does his homework on and off the field. That's probably why the 3 of us are all drinking light beer from Miller.
See, light's got a third less calories than the regular beer, and it's less filling.
Plus, it tastes great. And you know it's important to have a command of facts like that.
It's mental discipline, really.
You're darn right. Because if you know every position, every option, every formation, you'll never get your signals crossed.
Hey, that's my beer, Terry.
Oh, no, this is... Yeah, no, wait a minute.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Feel my label.
Tough Ford trucks are the best-selling truck line in America. Tough Ford trucks outsold all competitive truck lines in America in 1978. Ford, #1 in truck sales again. Tough Couriers. Tough pickups. Tough four-wheelers and Broncos. And tough vans. Tough big trucks. Tough Ford trucks. America's best-selling truck line again in 1978.
That's me, Bill Simpson, with my teammates, the Los Angeles Rams. And this is my wife, Lynn.
And we'd like to show you Hollywood, one of the places that makes Los Angeles a magical city.
Motion pictures have made this the dream capital of the world. From the sound stages to the back lots, movie stars have made make-believe an escape for millions. But for the 3 million people who live here, their lives are very real. For some, their story is just beginning.
Here at Holy Family Services, homeless babies are cared for until their real parents are ready for them, or a good home can be found. You can walk away from a sad movie, but you just can't walk away from these infants.
Seeing this agency, I realized that through our United Way, we can help shape the real story of somebody's life, at least the beginning, and that's important. United Way works in Los Angeles.
It works in your town, too. Thanks to you, it works for all of us, the United Way.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. Halftime score is still 0-0. And what do you think went on, Tom?
Well, I'll tell you, the stats really don't mean anything anyway today. Let's be honest, though. You can forget the other 16 or 17 games. It's do or die. It's sudden death. But I do think the fumble by Laidlaw going into the end zone was rather important. Not that he shouldn't have fumbled, but that maybe the other Cowboys didn't go for the ball more aggressively and come up with it. They had a better chance than Youngblood did.
Pat Donovan had a shot at it. Dorsett had a shot at it, but it wound up in the hands of Youngblood. Of course, Frank Corral has missed 2 field goals, and he has been really one of the strong points of the Rams so far. I am surprised, quite frankly, that Tom Landry's Cowboys have not been a little bit more, I guess you could say, wide open than they have been. I expected some surprises early.
Well, I played pro football with Ray Malavasi for a short time. We were with the Eagles together, and I know he is going to throw it all out now. And he'll say, okay, it's 0-0. Let's go out and win the football game or lose it. But we're going to do it with 5 receivers. I think they'll throw the ball around a lot. And I agree with you. I think that that Dallas better do the same thing.
Well, of course, you mentioned you played with Malavasi. I played for Landry. In fact, he was my coach for a long time.
Think we might see the flea flicker?
I think we might see everything he has in his memories about football.
And remember the shuttle? Remember the shuttle pass that Staubach did so well out of the shotgun a couple of years ago?
I'll never forget.
We might see that one again.
Corral missed twice in the first half, as we mentioned a minute ago, from 39 and 45 yards out. And he has, as we told you, been one of the real strong points of the Rams during the regular season. 29 field goals he kicked.
What about a kicker, though? If he misses one right and then he hoods it a little bit and pulls it left, is he beginning to wonder now about the basic stroke?
Yes.
Roger had some pretty good stats in the first half and looked like he was beginning to get it together. 8 for 14 for 68 yards. He was sacked twice. Well, I'll tell you, the Ram defense is a solid bunch of hombres, huh?
They really are. And they have the statistics to prove it. A crowd of 71,000 at the Los Angeles Coliseum. It is nearing 4 o'clock on the Pacific Coast. They had forecast possibility of rain starting about 6. So far, it's still sunny.
Remember, these players, Patrick, get $9,000 apiece for this game, but they're talking down the road in a couple of weeks with 18,000 plus whatever endorsements might come out of being the Super Bowl winners.
You can see some of those storm clouds, or rain clouds perhaps, gathering up back of this structure. Deep men for Los Angeles. One will be number 43, Jim Jodat, and the other will be number 44, Larry Marshall. He's up at the right-hand corner of your picture. Raphael Septien, who last year played for the Rams, will kick off for Dallas.
Jodat and Marshall will bring it straight up until they make contact. Nothing fancy. Come right up with the wedge and hope somebody runs by them and they find a hole.
Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier, the NFC Championship game at the Los Angeles Coliseum. One of these two will play Pittsburgh and Miami. 2 weeks from now, Hollywood Henderson just checking in on the kickoff team. Raphael Septien will kick off for Dallas. No score. At the end of one half of football. And here is Septien. A good kick. Chases Marshall back 2 yards deep into the end zone. He hesitates, and then he comes out. And Larry Marshall is out to about the 22. Hit by Bruce Heather.
Here's Heather. Again, these special team fellas for Dallas are waiting for somebody to retire or die or move away from Dallas so they can play football. And they're aggressive, they're fast, they're big, and the only shot they get is on special teams, and they take it.
Dennis Thurman also made contact with Larry Marshall. The Rams have the football at their own 22. Roger Staubach loosening the arm behind the Dallas bench. First and 10 Rams at their own 22. Rod Phillips and Cullen Bryant, the Ram running back. Scapoletti is lost. Hayden gets away from Too Tall Jones, gets back perhaps to the line of scrimmage, and Harvey Martin puts the hook on him.
That time Ron Jesse was trying to run an inside pattern, and Benny Barnes took his one legal chuck and knocked 81 flat down. In fact, Jesse got up looking. Let's see if you can see it. Let's watch the pass rush. Out of the corner of your eye, wait for Ed Too Tall Jones to show up. You can't blame Hayden now for looking somewhere else. And Jesse had been knocked down, so there was nobody really open or running.
Hayden lost a yard. It'll be second 11. Rams nothing, Cowboys nothing. It's Cullen Bryant straight ahead and hit by Bob Brunig right in the hole. Let's go down and get a report from Frank Glieber on the sideline.
I can tell you where the emphasis was, Pat, in the Cowboy locker room. They're very interested in improving their first down situation so they don't get in the big hole on third down, and you may look for the Cowboys to throw the football a little bit more on first down when they get it back.
Thank you, Frank. That's a good observation.
Glieber's in good shape, I'll tell you that. He's ready, huh?
Oh, he's trimmed down.
There's a third down that Pat Hayden would probably want to be careful with.
They have Mike Hegman in on defense as an extra linebacker, the Cowboys do, on what looks like a passing situation, and Hayden drops. The protection is adequate. The throw is not. Nobody open, or he couldn't find anybody. I believe it was intended for Willie Miller, but I'm not sure. It was so
I'm not sure.
So
I think maybe
away.
Nelson, the tight end, who was lined up by himself, was supposed to continue across the field and pulled up on the thing. Hayden will get it figured out. He has good wheels upstairs. He's a very bright young person.
A Rhodes Scholar. So he's ahead of us.
Only a couple of grades.
It'll be Glenn Walker, and Butch Johnson stands alone at his own 40. Walker to punt. They go for Los Angeles.
They may be coming.
The Rams think they are. They tighten up. I got him. You got him. I don't know. They finally get it underway, and they do not block it. The line drive comes to Butch. And Butch, who had his problems last week, gets back into Ram territory to the 37. So the Cowboys' first possession will be good. Only a 28-yard kick by Glenn Walker. I don't know who she's for.
Afraid of highway patrolman, they pull her over.
She has a Texas license and a Los Angeles license. Tomorrow night on CBS, it's Your First Kiss, Charlie Brown, followed by The White Shadow.
It's a great show, by the way. Kenny Howard's going to come by in the third period, and we'll get to talk to him, and he's a darn good athlete in his own right.
Nash, of course, has always been great. And Lou Grant.
He can play, too.
Enjoy that. Tony Hill comes in motion, and Roger Staubach is going to throw on first down, as Glieber said. Overthrows Drew Pearson.
Mike Fanning put the big pressure on Roger, the former Notre Damer. The last 2 or 3 games of the season really came on strong, and he's replacing Larry Brooks, an all-pro type person in the middle there.
Second down, 10 yards to go.
Fanning is 6'6", 250. There he comes.
260 pounds. He got Roger low, and Youngblood finished off the upper part of the body.
Tony Dorsett and Scott Laidlaw are the running backs for the Cowboys as Ray Malavasi looks on. He might have had the most difficult task of anybody. Although he did have a lot of talent on this team, the conditions under which he took over were very unique. Dupree stretches it, picked off. The impetus took him into the end zone. The Rams will start at their own play.
Again.
Pat Thomas.
Watch the outside rush by the blitz. It'll come to the right part of the screen from the shotgun. Roger gets it loaded up, and here comes Jim Youngblood. And Roger threw a UFO this time.
And they say the impetus didn't take him into the end zone.
Você me conhece? Eu sou conhecido porque uso a cabeça no campo de futebol, mas também eu uso a cabeça quando viajo. Eu sempre levo comigo o cartão da American Express. Já usei em mais de 40 países. Ele é conhecido e respeitado em todo o mundo, até nos lugares onde eles falam línguas estranhas, como o inglês.
To apply for a card, look for this display wherever the card is welcomed.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Can tell by their style and flair. They're
Now.
can tell by the way they're getting there.
Now.
The future is now.
With styling that says now. With high mileage ratings for now to take you lots of places on a little gas.
The future is now.
I'm not waiting for someday. I'm doing it now. 79 Ford Futura, even at sticker prices now.
Next weekend, see the shootout of the superstars, the 1979 Grand Prix Masters. From first serve to match point, you'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
It looks to me as if there is no way that Pat Thomas could avoid going into the end zone.
And he's not trying to run with it. It looks like, as you say, the receiver, Dupree, goes ahead and takes him in. But it doesn't come out to the 20. They'll start from about the 2.
That's correct.
Some player, that's his 9th interception of the year.
Ram fans with their pom-poms. There's been a lot of discussion about that this week, too. We'll tell you about that in a minute. But they're coming alive, and the Rams operate with their 2 setbacks, Rod Phillips and Cullen Bryant in the end zone. And Cullen gets the carry. To the 5, Ed Jones made the first hit.
This field position really would lean toward Stautner and Stallings' troops, Jerry Tubbs, getting the ball, and maybe the defenses on these teams have to score to win the game. I thought that coming in that the defense would have to account for maybe 10 points to win anyway.
Nothing score. And the way Glenn Walker has been punting, Dallas defense needs to tighten the screws down here because he hadn't had a punt yet over 30 yards. Hayden is going to throw out of the end zone. He does, and the receiver slips down. It was intended for Ron Jesse, covered by Benny Barnes.
Benny wasn't too far off the short out that time. Once in a while, a slipping receiver can sort of spike the ball up and hang it.
Looking over on the sideline at Tom Landry, and Ernie Stautner sends in his nickel. The extra linebacker and the 2 extra defensive backs.
Pat, that's different every time. It's never the same nickel. The different coverages they throw at you, almost impossible to read all the time.
Quick count for Hayden. They're jumping, and Hayden scrambles in the end zone and finally throws it away. There's a flag down in the end zone.
And Henderson might have grabbed the face mask of Pat Hayden. This could be an incredible break right here. Look at this grin.
That's right. And it was Hegman, I think.
It's going to be received with applause after they start walking.
Let's see if it was Hegman or Henderson. 58 or 56.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, 72. First down.
Ed Jones, first down Ram. Let's watch, see.
If he grabs your face mask, you might lose the whole head. Watch to the right part of your screen now. Again, that nickel defense has people covered. He's standing in the goal to the end zone. Well, there goes Jonesy by.
No question, but that number 72 got him by the face mask. And there comes Hegman. It'll be a first down Ram. Rod Phillips and Cullen Bryant behind Pat Hayden. Blitz is on, and Ed Jones and Larry Cole take down Cullen Bryant.
Cliff Harris took about a 12-yard run and safety blitzes, misses the tackle, but watch this. Now Hayden knows he's got to make a quick handoff. Bryant gets by the safety blitz, but if you blitz and stay in your lanes, it's not too bad against a run. It's not really that weak.
I get the impression from watching this first series that Dallas might be a little bit more intense than they were in the first half. 2nd and 9. There's the flex, as Hayden has good protection this time for a while at least. And the throw is no good. Almost picked off by Charlie Waters. Benny Barnes had a chance. Brunig was back there, intended for Jesse.
Looks like if Barnes hadn't have gone ahead and fought for it, that Waters had it put away. But you don't know where everybody is, and you'll take what you can get. Waters looking back takes it. Barnes is fighting the receiver and the ball.
Again, it was Larry Cole that applied the pressure to Hayden. 5 for 12 is Pat for 55 yards.
The double blocking is being put on Randy White. Some people think he plays 2 people trying to block him better than one that just gets him early.
3rd down for the Rams. No score, nothing, third quarter. 11 and a half minutes left to play in the third quarter. Hayden drops. He has time. Waters down the far sideline. Charlie Waters cuts back. Dallas has it at the Ram 10. Cullen Bryant made the tackle. Turnovers.
And again, Charlie Waters, all he does is key the tight end. Nelson never had a chance for it. And you're right, intensity level for the guys in blue is sky high right now. There's a twist on defense. They pick up Randy White. Man, he had the inside on the tight end all the way. Hayden was not pushed to throw that ball.
He had a lot of time. Cullen Bryant made the tackle. It'll be 1st and goal, Dallas. Just past the 10. Dorsett and Laidlaw behind Roger Staubach. It's Laidlaw to about the 8.
Franco Harris couldn't run against the Ram defensive line. You try to send big backs in there, you're going to get them chewed up.
Laidlaw is not all that big. He only goes about 2'5". Again, Tom Landry has sent in his messenger guards. In this case, it's Burton Lawless, who has replaced Rafferty. Nolan Cromwell comes in. Reynolds comes out. Rams have 5 defensive backs then. It'll be 2nd down at the 8. Staubach hands to Dorsett. Dorsett slips down at the 13. Bill Simpson was just staring at him. And Tony D fell down.
I couldn't tell if he fell down or bailed out. Tried to make a little move, and when Simpson just stared him in the eye, the feet went. He makes a heck of a move, Dorsett does, to get out of here. Brzezinski wants him pretty bad. Boy, can he move the feet. Now he decides to level off and cut it back inside.
Bill Simpson is number 48, looking right at him. And you start to think about Raphael Septien, who was a Ram last year and who has been knocked in the Ram, in the Los Angeles papers this week. He's the Dallas kicker. Preston Pearson in the Dallas backfield. Ram defense has been great. Tony Hill is the intended receiver, and it goes out of the end zone.
That was an intentional job. Roger decided to try to get 3 points, and he just whistled it into the pom-pom girls down there.
Interference, I think, Thomas, has been called in the end zone against somebody.
The far receiver?
Illegal chuck. And it's going to be Dallas ball still, and they'll have another crack.
It's a hard one to remember that even though the receiver's not being thrown at, you can't chuck him illegally either.
Defense, illegal contact, number 27. That's a 1st down.
Oh, how did you think that would be received?
Pat Thomas was working on the receiver to the top of that end zone, and even if the ball isn't thrown that way, you still have to play by the Geneva Convention, I guess is what they're calling it.
1st and goal at about the 7.5. So they'll have 4 more cracks. And forget about Septien for a while. Jackie Smith and Billy Joe Dupree, both in the game for the Cowboys. From here, you really need to be able to run it in. Dorsett might have gotten to the 4.5.
The big surprise is that Dorsett runs inside very well. He gets to those tacklers while they're still fouled up with blockers, and he can make a yardage in there. Very quickly, he scoots in. Watch this. Remember, the Rams now are fighting off blocks. Now Hacksaw stops the momentum and shoves it back the other way.
If you're a Ram, that's what you're looking at on defense. Jack Reynolds is number 64, settling into his middle linebacker position. Staubach will operate this time from the 4.5 and give to Dorsett again. And Tony Dorsett scores.
There's some leg action you won't see very often. He runs in drive gear most of the time, and once in a while it goes zip, and it's over.
The Cowboys do have some fans here. And for the first time, there are points on the scoreboard. 6 for Dallas, and Septien will try to make it 7.
Watch the move here. Rayfield's already thrown. Again, it's quickness more than strength, but he's strong too.
Charlie Waters, who set the whole thing up with that interception, will hold for Raphael Septien. Good. Cowboys 7. The Rams nothing. 9 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the third quarter. And the Cowboys have the first touchdown of this championship game.
The secret to getting ahead in business is staying cool, because somebody's always trying to pass you up, especially if you're renting a car. You see, I can walk through airports. I have an Avis Wizard number. Cool.
Oh, Mr. Bell, that mid-sized car you reserved, we just rented the last one.
What?
So we're giving you a Buick LeSabre at the same rate.
What?
Well, that's the Avis policy.
What a wonderful thing to do.
Avis now features GM cars.
Avis, we don't know another way.
1934, and Joe Jamar over there, he dreams of farming this desert. But where would he get the money to drill for water over 1,000 feet down? Where? From the money folks keep in their full-service bank. You see, America's bankers back Joe and thousands of other farmers, too. So today, food from the San Joaquin Valley reaches every table in America. Your money in the bank made it possible. America's bankers, helping you change things for the better.
I'm with Ken Howard, who is the coach, of course, on White Shadow. It's a great show, and I've watched every one of them. You enjoying doing it?
Yeah, it's a ball.
You played some basketball, though. You're a pretty good athlete anyway, aren't you?
I played in high school on a great team, and in college I went to Amherst, and I think my high school team would have beaten Amherst. But,
I'll tell you, White Shadow's great. You handle some very sticky subjects. You do a very good job on that.
Oh, we're having a ball on it, and we appreciate your, the phones were ringing that morning when you said you liked the show.
Are they changing it?
Yeah, we're on tomorrow night, a half hour late at 8:30 to 9:30 after Charlie Brown.
Right.
And then we go to Saturday night, starting January 13th at 8 o'clock.
All right, Kenny, good luck to you. It's a great show.
Thanks for you.
Okay, he's the White Shadow, all right.
Well, he's a big guy, too.
I'd say he is.
Back to the action. Serious action. Larry Marshall returned the kickoff for the Los Angeles Rams. He was stopped by Dennis Thurman. And there is the man who scored the touchdown. Tony Dorsett in the game. Mom will see at the Super Bowl. The Cowboys, like the Steelers, would have a chance to win 3 if they make it. Nobody else has ever done that.
I'll tell you one thing, the Rams will be battling in the fourth period. One touchdown ain't going to win it.
9:02 to left in the third period. Cat Hayden, the Ram quarterback, throws back to Cullen Bryant. At a time like this, you do not want to panic too soon. You don't ever want to panic.
You know, Bryant still runs about a 4.65 40. When he came out of Colorado, he was about a 4.5 guy and a great defensive back, but he really didn't get the running job until Kutch, the great runner, McCutcheon, went down this year. And as you said, with Tyler and Peacock and all the great running backs, if they had had those, this Ram team might have been unbeatable, you know?
He got 2. Bryant, by the way, is the leading rusher in the game. 14 carries, 38 yards. It's been a defensive battle. Flag. Hayden throws outside to Rod Phillips. Fumble. And he he is saying incomplete pass is Pat Hayden. Ben Dreith will make the ultimate decision, and I think that's what he's saying. But again, there was a flag on the play, and I think Larry Cole might have jumped offside.
Boy, Dallas is really hitting on defense, though. Right now, it's much like that Atlanta second half start. You could almost read that somewhere in that dressing room at halftime, the defense decided to go ahead and hit. That's Larry Cole to the right. He was a little off. But this tackle right here was not by Jones.
Defense offside. That's second down.
It was Larry Cole, who, by the way, I think Tom has played an outstanding game. What a clutch player.
Oh, Bubba Cole.
Second, looks like about 3 they need at their own 32. Bryant will have it. It appears.
How about 300 and some odd carries without a fumble against people like this? There's Brunig, number 53, the middle linebacker, working against what some people say is the most underrated center in football, and that's Saul, number 61.
Number 61 had a little misunderstanding with one of his teammates last week, and the teammate lost. First down Rams.
On all cards.
Hayden gives to Rod Phillips, who struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. Randy White was the first Cowboy to hit him. Dede Lewis helped out. 7-0 Dallas with 7:55 left third quarter. The number 1 defense in the NFL goes to Los Angeles.
Hayden is 5 of 13 for 55 yards and has missed on his last 5.
Dallas was the number 2 rated defensive team. Number 1 against the rush. So you figured it would be like this. Hayden going deep for Jesse. He'll be out of bounds. Benny Barnes on the coverage, and it was excellent.
It's perfect. He got inside of the receiver and made the receiver crawl all over him. Watch this. Pretty good rush here. Little blitz action for the offside. Watch Barnes now get in front of the receiver and work the sidelines, and even Jesse couldn't jump over him and catch it.
I was talking to Tom Landry Friday night after the press conference, and I said, Tom, I'm surprised nobody asked you about the problems that you had with Ron Jesse the first time, and are you going to give Benny Barnes any help? And he said, no, we think he can do the job.
You don't change what's going. Right.
Third down, and the heat is on Hayden. He throws. Caught and then dropped. It's incomplete. Pass is incomplete. Joe Dat struggling, but Glenn Walker will be in.
I'm telling you, Cliff Harris really battled the tight end trying to make the catch. Terry Nelson. Watch this. Here's the rush now. And Hayden is no longer getting a lot of time. See, number 58's in there blitzing Mike Hegman.
And Randy White as well.
Yeah, Randy gets it. He likes to sort of get the steam coming off his back like a workhorse.
Waters again did a good job to strip that ball loose. Here's Walker's punt. And this time it's better. Butch Johnson operates from his own 29, straight up the field, and Butch gets to the 42. Again, the yellow flag is down, however. 37-yard kick by Walker that time. Going to be gripping against Dallas. And they'll back him up.
Roger Staubach is 8 of 16 for 68 yards, and he's missed on his last 5 passes. So that Ram defense hadn't gone home either.
No, sir. Both good
Personal
defense.
foul, clipping a number 59 on the run back. Timeout.
59 is Guy Brown. And he was the guilty clipper. 7:13 left in the third quarter, and the Cowboys lead by the score of 7-0.
Fast enough for a speeding freeway, powerful enough for uphill climbs, rated to leap past gas stations in a single bound. It's Thunder Car. Ford Fiesta from Germany. Front-wheel drive, Michelin radials, Fiesta Thunder Car. With super mileage ratings and rack and pinion steering for crooked curves. Thunder car, cleverly disguised as a Fiesta.
And it has front-wheel drive, Mr. Kent.
Super.
Mr. Kent.
At your Ford dealers.
When you shoot a lot of pool and bars, you want to stay fast and loose, and you don't want to get filled up. That's why I drink light beer from Miller. Got a third less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. Plus, the taste is great. And even though a lot of people don't think pool is strenuous, let me tell you something. You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just showing off.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The stuffs, the snuffs, the tough breaks, the fast breaks. The NBA on CBS next Sunday. You will say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Roger Staubach is, of course, the Dallas quarterback. His offensive line is the way it began. Ray Theo-Wright and Pat Donovan the tackles. Rafferty and Scott the guards, and Big John Fitzgerald the center. The handoff is to Billy Joe Dupree. The end-around struggle ends after a gain of about 3, stopped by Fred Dreyer.
Made a pretty good move on Brzezinski to pick up some yardage. I have never seen number 89 swivel hips, but it's a pretty good play. Tight end around. Rams usually come across and force this a lot earlier. Watch this move right here. He's been watching Dorsett in practice.
And in the games. 89 takes down 89.
Careful of turnovers, though. The Rams defense lives by him.
That's how Dallas got on the scoreboard. Pass interception by Charlie Waters set him up. And then that critical penalty. Roger Staubach throws over the head of Drew Pearson on the way down.
Roll to the side of Brzezinski, and the linebacker was released then, so full of speed, all ahead full. Watch number 59 to the right now, right in the center of your screen. Doing exactly what the linebacker wanted him to do, give him a shot.
Rod Perry on the coverage. Brzezinski almost got there. Jim Myers standing behind Tom Landry. The last 13 passes thrown in this game have been incomplete. That says something for your defense, doesn't it? Roger operates from the shotgun. That one is to Preston Pearson, not incomplete in Ram territory.
What a pattern, though, Pearson runs. And that time, oh, we got an offensive flag, it looks like, down. Might be some holding by Dallas.
That's what it is.
Seemed like Roger had a lot of time to wait for Pearson to swerve to the outside and come back in.
Maybe that's why. Let's see who did it.
Remember, with the new rules on blocking and no head slapping and no chucking except for 5 yards, defense is really having to fight for its life.
Offensive holding, number 68.
Herbert Scott. Will be interesting to see what this call is. Dallas has been penalized 7 times for 65 yards. The Rams twice for 15 yards. But one of those was really crucial.
And this Ram defense, because of the big rush and the excellent people deep, have 28 interceptions coming in. They love for you to throw it on 3rd and long.
Are they going to be conservative, or will they throw it?
Wish I knew.
I think conservative. I'm wrong again. Mike Fanning. Sack Staubach at the 2. 3rd sack for the Rams.
All right, action on the line of scrimmage. Staubach gambling, as Patrick said. He had crossing patterns. Pearson was trying to clear. Take that shell out of the breach. Don't even worry about it.
John Fitzgerald was the blocker who tried to pick up Fanning, but he got around him. And Danny White will have his heels right at the end zone before he kicks for the 6th time. He's got to be very careful not to step out of the end zone.
And he's had one blocked. I think St. Louis got one early in the year.
They're not trying. A knuckler that Jackie Wallace handles at the 45. Retreats to the 50. Gets a couple of blocks. And he's got some room. Wallace out of bounds at the 23-yard line. The Rams in great shape. Jim Jodat got a great block. Watch number 43.
And they get them legally. They're very careful about this. A 58-yarder was Wallace's. There was Jodat's block. Great run back and good team execution.
Mike Hegman finally made the tackle. Wallace is not very fast, but he has that great knack. There he is.
He can find the crack. Place almost went upside down. The people have not stopped yelling. Now they smell something.
And Hayden asked for quiet. First down for Rams on a quick count. Larry Cole and Ed Jones converge. Jack Youngblood over on the sideline. A little oxygen.
Talk to him before a game. He looks right through you. He gives you that handshake with the taped hands, but he's not really thinking about you at all. I like him like that, don't you, before a game?
Yes. Speaking of taped hands, those belong to Saul, the Rams center. Matt Hayden is looking at Dallas blitz and throws quickly. He's got Ron Jesse. He reads that so well. As soon as he sees him, he's ready to unload. Benny Barnes made the tackle. Ray Malavasi looks on.
And same play they did early in the game in the first period. Now Jesse also has to make the adjustment. 2 steps, take the inside, and you know you're going to get a shot.
Third down approaching.
Third catch for Jesse.
About 3 yards. The Ram cheerleaders at the moment have reason to cheer. 4:15 left, third quarter. Dallas leads by a touch. Colin Bryant bowls down close to a first down. Randy White felt the power of Colin Bryant that time.
That time White was sort of shifting along, trying to get rid of the blocker. Bryant's darn near as big as Randy White. It'll be close, huh?
Very. And if they didn't make it, I gotta believe he'll go for it. And they need that much. And the discussion goes on over in front of the Ram bench, and in come Rod Phillips and Charlie Young. They are gonna go for it.
The big tight end comes in, and a very good blocker inside. There's no tomorrow anyway.
They had a great supply of those pom-poms last week, but the fire department said can't use them this week. So they replaced them this week with non-flammable ones after many objections. Fourth and a foot.
I got 2 already.
Jodat and Cullen Bryant.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think Bryant made an inch.
Larry Bethea is jumping up and down saying he didn't make it. Ray Malavasi is motioning, of course, in the other direction.
Remember against Atlanta when the team gambled and couldn't get the first down?
Yes.
Sometimes a foot is about 10 miles.
And Ben Drive, the referee, will bring him back again. The chains, I mean.
I thought somebody made penetration on the Rams side of the line of scrimmage.
Didn't get it.
Here it is. There's nothing fancy about fourth and a foot.
Larry Bethea made the key play. The Cowboys' #1 draft choice is worth it right now.
Ryder rents trucks.
I'll be seeing you, sweetheart.
Trucks you can count on. And Ryder tunes those trucks razor sharp, ready for anything. When Ryder rental trucks take off on a mission, there can only be one ending.
You nervous, huh, kid? Nah.
Mission accomplished. Ryder, the best truck money can rent.
I've driven 500,000 miles in my life, and all of it on Quaker State motor oil. So what oil filter am I using? Are you kidding?
I've used nothing but Quaker State for 22 years. So what oil filter am I using? Are you kidding? Quaker State motor oil has helped my car hit 50,000 miles. So what oil filter am I using?
Are you kidding?
Quaker State helps cars last. So what oil filter should you be using? Are you kidding?
Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshier at the Coliseum in Los Angeles.
Look how that turf is chewed up where they just went fourth and a foot.
And Dallas held. They did the same thing against Atlanta. As you mentioned, Dorsett and Laidlaw. And it's Scott Laidlaw. For about 3, Cody Jones was the first Ram to hit him. Stu Pearson is down, but not hurt.
Laidlaw's come on and been quite a performer, though, hasn't he? He's averaged about 59 yards for his last 5 games for the Cowboys, coming off the bench and hadn't played much up until Newhouse got the fraction.
Burton Lawless checks in with the play for Roger Staubach. Ray Malavasi and his coaching staff, that's Charlie Waller with the headset on. Cody Jones is 76. One of the Ram defensive tackles, the other is Mike Fanning. Pearson comes in motion. Rogers going to throw it if he has time. To Dorsett. And Dorsett swings down the sideline. It will be a Dallas first down, but a penalty marker is down. Jack Reynolds chased him out, but where the flag is dropped would indicate again holding against Dallas.
Some play, though, to fake to Dorsett and get the swing going that way and then give it back to him later.
Maybe roughing the passer, I'm sorry.
Roger held it till the last second. Of course, he's been in so darn many big games.
And that comes after the game.
Defense, personal foul, roughing the passer, number 89.
Red Dreyer.
Remember, the fake now is to Dorsett going this way. Let's see where it comes from. It's Dreyer going, but for the body, not trying to go through the face or anything. He was just a little late.
Cowboys come out of the hole a little bit. Just outside their own 40 is where they have the possession now. Dallas leads 7-0. That's a tough call.
That was a very tough call, I'll tell you. That ball was just revolving out of Rogers' hand.
Pearson again comes in motion. And he end around this time to Jackie Smith, and he is tripped up in his own backfield. Veteran Jackie Smith by Jim Youngblood.
Youngblood made 80 solo tackles. That means all by yourself. Watch this one where he strips and gets the feet. Not a good handoff, a bad exchange. Roger was fumbling with the ball from the start. I tell you, Rams are coming.
Laidlaw hit Staubach right there and almost knocked the ball loose. Jackie Smith scored a touchdown last week against Atlanta. They tied the game. Jim Youngblood has played about as well as any linebacker in the league this year.
Should be in the Pro Bowl. I can't believe that he's not playing for the NFC in the Pro Bowl.
Preston Pearson in the game on second down. And 19 they need. Staubach going deep for Tony Hill. Picked off by Nolan Cromwell. Cromwell gets back to his feet, but the Rams will have the football at their own 29.
It's only the second interception for Cromwell, but you can expect him to be a great player whenever he gets a chance. A great quarterback at Kansas. Look at this. He got the inside, and the ball was underthrown just enough to give him a shot at it. Tony Hill made it pretty tough, though. He went over his shoulder and tried to get a tie, didn't he?
Cromwell is one of the best in the world, or was, in the 400-meter hurdles.
13-8 or something like that.
Hayden drops on that quick count. Jesse has it across the middle at the 44. Benny Barnes, the Dallas defender. The crowd and the Rams have come alive. 14-yard gain.
Remember, if they complete a few over the middle to either Nelson or Jesse, Miller will have a chance to get up the sidelines. They won't be able to protect and help the outside. Watch this. Good blocking. Boy, the ball is thrown right on.
Is there anybody in pro football better than Jesse coming across like that?
I don't know of anybody.
Hayden firing deep. This time it's for Miller. Aaron Kyle right with him.
Hayden was really wrapped that time just as he squeezed off the round. See where the rush came from. Rhodes Scholar sets it up. Henderson and Brunig both come down there.
Both linebackers.
But not an illegal shot.
Jesse has caught 4 passes for 42 yards. He's the leading receiver in the game. Dallas leads 7-0 with 1:15 left, third quarter. The Coliseum has been full since about noon, and it still is. Smith Harris comes up on the line of scrimmage, takes a blitz, doesn't come. Randy White puts the heat on. Charlie Waters has the interception, and again, Charlie Waters down the far sideline. Waters' second interception of the game. What a contest he has had.
Remember last year he had 3 against the Chicago Bears in the playoff. And this time it looks like Nelson is open. And again, Hayden did not have time to second guess it. Watch Hayden how quickly he has to. Randy White on the move.
Randy White gets a hurry.
Another viewpoint. A little better look. Look at the tight end. And there's Waters again. He's been watching Nelson in his sleep all week.
Cullen Bryant took him out of bounds. The Rams shaken up just a little bit. That's the end of the third quarter with the score Dallas 7. That's not the end of the third quarter. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Don't miss the thrills and excitement of the 5th Annual International Circus Festival of Monte Carlo. A fantastic hour from the glamorous Riviera. Wednesday at 8:30, 7:30 Central and Mountain.
On CBS.
Channel 4 News, second to none. When the Metroplex fell into the icy grip of winter, Channel 4 News didn't leave you out in the cold. Channel 4's Barry Judge and Clarice Tinsley were just 2 of the many Channel 4 reporters who got out where the news was being made. And Channel 4's weatherman Gary Basner came through again with the information all of us were asking about, the weather outlook and those important school closings. Barry Judge, Clarice Tinsley, and Gary Basner, the 10 o'clock news. It's much more than an update.
Western. Pace setters in the fundamentals, like capable people, reliable equipment, advanced products, research, and engineered recommendations. But most of all, capable people.
If you don't have an oil well, get one. You'll love doing business with Western. Pace setters.
Mike Douglas comes to 4 Monday at 3:30.
At the game of a lifetime, when out of the sky comes sudden death.
Take her down now!
Robert Shaw, Marta Keller, and Bruce Dern. Who will survive Black Sunday? A CBS television premiere on Super Bowl Sunday, January 21st at 9, 8 Central and Mountain Time.
That's Pat Hayden, and let's go down to Frank Glieber for a report.
Preliminary indication here at the field from the Rams team doctors is that Hayden has suffered a broken right thumb. If that's the case, he's probably through for the day, and that means Vince Ferragamo for the Rams the rest of the way. Exactly how it happened, we don't know.
We know, but it was a clean shot by Randy White, and he might have hooked his thumb in the helmet hole on White's helmet.
Right in the ear.
Yes.
Right. In any case, Dallas gives the ball to Laidlaw, and he just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage, and then he's hustled back. Let's go back and look at that play and watch Randy White.
Here comes Randy White. Again, the ball is just gone. There's where the right hand must have gotten it. Watch now as Hayden rolls over and is still holding it sort of clinched. He's worried about the interception. That hand is already there and hurting.
Charlie Waters' 9th playoff interception. His second today, and that is a playoff record. He had been tied with Willie Brown of the Oakland Raiders before that. They give to Dorsett and a fumble.
Like Freddie Dryer made the big stick coming over the top. And that would be fumble number 14 for Tony Dorsett this year.
Of course, the Dallas players saying it's ours, and that's what the referee rules.
We have to play the Star Spangled Banner to get them untangled down there.
15 seconds left to play in the third quarter. We sort of misled you a little bit ago. Pat Donovan made the recovery.
Rafferty trying to go over from left to right for your trap block. Freddie Dryer just read it and came around behind it. Shoulder pads right on the numbers.
So it'll be a third down Cowboys. They lead 7-0 with 1 second left to go in the third quarter, and that this time is the end of the third quarter. And the Cowboys, paced by Charlie Waters' 2 interceptions, lead Dallas at the end of 3, 7-0.
The Miller people promised me a case of light beer if I could keep this ball spinning for the length of this commercial. Now, I'm not one to show off, but I do just about anything for a few light beers. You see, light's got a third less calories than the regular beer and it's less filling, so I can stay loose. But the thing I like best is the taste. And I believe at this time that somebody here owes me a case of that taste. Thanks a lot, boys. See you around.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hi, Charlie.
Ford technology creates the all-new Ford LTD, a new American road car designed for today's driving. The all-new Ford LTD offers more passenger room than any LTD ever. Yet this LTD is sized for today, with even easier handling and parking than last year, and a higher mileage rating. Discover a remarkable new LTD driving experience. The luxurious all-new Ford LTD, a new American road car, at your Ford dealer.
Earlier today, you watched the punt, pass, and kick competition, which is sponsored by the Ford Dealers of America and the NFL. The 6 winners here today are the 1978 national champions. Presenting the trophies to the national champions are Gene Cross, the Western Region Sales Manager, Ford Division, and Bert Bachman, National Ford Dealer Council. The 8-year-old winner is Leon Madison Clay Jr., representing the Dallas Cowboys. The 9-year-old winner, representing the Philadelphia Eagles, is Michael Hunninghake. The 10-year-old champion is Scott Phelps, representing Kansas City. The 11-year-old champion, representing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is Randy Gay. The 12-year-old winner, representing the Cleveland Browns, Sean McHugh. And finally, the 13-year-old winner, representing the San Diego Chargers, Paul Cerna. And congratulations to the 1978 punt, pass, and kick national champion.
Good-looking group of young fellas, huh?
Yes, sir. And the Ram fans, in spite of the fact that they trailed 7-0, are not discouraged at the moment. 3rd and 10 with Preston Pearson. Tony Dorsett operating behind, or with, I should say, Roger Staubach, who comes out of the shotgun and throws. It is Preston Pearson inside the 5 to the 3. What a remarkable performance.
And does he like to play in Los Angeles?
I think he likes Dallas, too.
I know it, but you know he's in the lineup to catch it. He'll come out of the backfield, out of that shotgun. Here he is, being shadowed, cuts away from it, pushes into that defensive nickel man, and then away, and there he goes.
What a
good ball
move.
carrier once he catches it, too.
What a good move. 1st and goal, Dallas at the 3.
Remember, Roger had to throw 46 times in that losing game here early. That was only his 20th today.
They operate from the 3. Pearson has done his work, and he is out. And it's Laidlaw and Dorsett behind that man. Dallas leads already 7-0. Pat Hayden has broken his thumb. And it's Laidlaw who's hit by Youngblood before he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Can't run against him, can you?
They think they do have to win the football game now. Ferragamo will be the quarterback. They've got to get some turnovers. They almost got one on that last fumble exchange.
Vince Ferragamo of Nebraska will be the Ram quarterback.
6'3", about 215. Remember we saw him in the Fiesta Bowl for Nebraska?
We also saw him in Washington last year at the end of the year when he did a good job. Hayden's thumb, by the way, was a compound fracture. And he went down in obvious pain and has gone to the locker room already. Second down and goal, Dallas. They lost 2 on that last play as Dorsett takes the fake. Laidlaw takes the ball in for a Dallas touchdown.
Laidlaw has now scored 7 touchdowns in his last 6 starts.
4 out of the last 5 years, the Rams have been in the NFC title game. They have never made it to the Super Bowl. They hired George Allen to take them there. That didn't work. Ray Malavasi got him this far.
Now Dorsett, after being faked to, cuts at Dreyer. And here's the second man, the first man out on that side. And Elmendorf just couldn't head him off the flag.
Raphael Septien with the hero holding, Charlie Waters. With Dallas 14. Rams nothing. 1 more quarter almost. 14:02 left to play.
Touchdown play.
Laidlaw is in.
Owens Corning built this glass house so you can see all the places insulation can save money, new home or old. Your attic. In severe climates, you may need insulating power up to R38, a foot of pink Owens Corning fiberglass. Another place to insulate. Floors over unheated garages or crawl spaces, and walls exposed to cold or heat. Put your house in the pink. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
When you need to rent a truck for company business or yourself, call Hertz and rent the exact truck you need at a price that can save you money. Hertz has been adding even more new trucks, and that means more reliable trucks, from Econoline vans up to giant tractors. You name it, Hertz rents it. And if you're moving, do it yourself with the easy-to-drive Hertz truck and save. So when you need a Ford or other reliable truck, make Hertz your #1 call. There's a location near you.
Raphael Septien will kick off for Dallas. The Cowboys lead it 14-0. That's the story of the drive, but the story of the game has been the play of Charlie Waters. That's Jim Jodan. That ought to be Dennis Thurman who took him down. Played collegiately here, of course, at USC.
Steele claimed a fumble on that return, and here's Ferragamo. He was 7 for 20 for 114 yards and no TDs and 2 INTs. Tough spot for a young quarterback.
Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. All in the family, Alice and Dallas. 60 Minutes visits the country music capital of the world, Nashville, Tennessee. And all the family has Edith losing her voice, and then Vera loses her man. And Alice, I don't know which is worse. Ferragamo drops and throws. Rod Phillips almost had it. Covered by Thomas Henderson.
Pretty involved pass play to come in with your first one. Has 3 backs, 3 receivers out on the right side. Henderson was in pretty good coverage position that time.
Jack Youngblood looking up at those lights on the far side of the field. Hayden obviously is finished. He had 7 out of 19 for 76 yards and 3 INTs. 2 by Charlie Waters that set up both the Cowboy touchdowns. Ferragamo with time this time. Had Cullen Bryant, threw it well. Charlie Waters was chasing Cullen. There's Fred Dreyer. That roughing the passer call against him a few minutes ago was marginal.
At best. By the way, a compound fracture, I'm not an orthopedic surgeon, but I have had some experience with them. Compound means it's a displacement, and the bone has come through in the thumb, and
that means it's serious.
Means you can't throw with it.
Not for a long time, anyway. John Capoletti suffered a separated shoulder earlier in the game for the Rams. He has not been back. They had a tough time injury-wise. Ferragamo has Jesse, and Jesse drops it. Again, the closest Dallas defender was Charlie Waters, but when things are going bad, they all go bad.
When the new quarterback comes in, the team either sags because Pat Hayden is out. These are 2 drop, and even really 3. That first pass he threw was catchable. I bet Jesse hadn't dropped the ball like that in 2 or 3 years.
And you've heard it said so many times, he took his eyes off the ball and started to look where he might be going before he got it in his hands. You say it, you say it, you say it. But players still do it, and they always will. Glenn Walker. The Ram punter takes a stroll over to his right. He was behind the wrong man, I guess.
I think they're coming.
And the Rams take too much time.
That's better than getting it blocked.
Delay on the offense. I never have been able to decide whether a punt was an offensive play or a defensive play. What do you think?
If it's a good punter, it's an offensive play.
In this case, based on what's happened today, the Rams are on defense.
You have a way with words, don't you?
This is a fine kick, though. Butch Johnson retreats back to his own 36. Will try to get around to the outside and does not. He is tackled by Jackie Wallace. 48-yard kick that time by Walker. And so with 13:26 left to play at the Los Angeles Coliseum, Dallas leads 14-0.
Will you get through the ice and snow, rain, the long hot summer? You'll get through if you have a Navigator. Kelly Navigator steel-belted radios with a computer-designed tread for traction in bad weather. And a center rip for a smooth ride all year long. Kelly Navigators, put them on, keep them on, they'll get you through. Kelly Springfield, we're out to change America's tires.
There are lots of batteries out there making all kinds of claims, performing all kinds of demonstrations. We simply say this: the J.C. Penney battery is so powerful, it's warranted for as long as you own your car. If it ever fails to accept and hold a charge, return it with proof of purchase. We'll replace it free. And it never needs water, ever. It's the last battery your car will ever need.
Last shutout championship game. The skies have been good to us in Los Angeles. We were just trying to look up when was the last time a team was shut out in a championship game. There's John Cappelletti with his back to you there, separated shoulder earlier. I think I was in the game the last time there was a shutout.
Well, this says 1968. The Colts and the Browns.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Gary Collins had the big day.
And Jim Brown, I think, huh?
And Frank Ryan. Dorsett shakes one tackler. And down goes the penalty flag. It was Dreyer that had the early shot at Tony Dorsett and lost him. Jack Reynolds made the tackle.
Boy, perfect position on defense, and that darn Dorsett broke the tackle. He really has strong wheels. Dupree being the counselor on this. Oh.
Holding against Dallas.
Remember, this Ram team has run back, what, 5 interceptions for touchdowns this year.
Those cornerbacks have been very active. But now,
offensive
we'll be looking at
number 35.
Laidlaw is the guilty party this time. Just scored the second Dallas touchdown. Dorsett got the other one. Both set up by interceptions by Charlie Waters.
Laidlaw's going to the left of your screen and lead for this. He doesn't go for Dreyer. He goes for Elmendorf, I believe. Pretty good looking block.
Again, it's Dorsett. And he decides the best place is to get on the ground. And he did.
Rams going to have to defensively sort of crowd the line of scrimmage now. So if Roger is going to pull a trigger on one, it'll be on a running situation when he'll take advantage of the Rams having to gamble so much on defense.
There's Charlie Waters. And over on the other side, there are a few smiles. Gosh, you remember those days in Washington when Charlie Waters played cornerback and Charlie Taylor had those great games, and Waters looked like one of the most forlorn figures you'd ever see. But that was when he was a cornerback and not a safety man.
Well, he's sure some safety man on the tight end side.
Roger Staubach on second down fires. Intended for Dorsett, I believe. Incomplete. Jackie Wallace on the coverage.
Dorsett never looked for it. It went right by his helmet. He probably heard it whistling. Players always worry you that go back to the huddle like they're never going to make it.
Like Jim Brown used to?
Yeah. Trying to think of the next play they come out, they look like they're shot out of guns.
Staubach 11 out of 22 for 98 yards. Dorsett 12 carries for 30 yards. So the Ram defense has done a good job. Don and Mary. You saw it on CBS. The lone setback was Preston Pearson. Across the middle to Tony Hill.
Oh.
And what an athlete that is. Drew Pearson, I beg your pardon, it was not Tony Hill. Tony Hill was with him. Drew Pearson made the catch for 17 yards.
And Drew was dragging the player all the way with him, trying to get up for the first down yardage. He was pretty well covered. That's only Drew Pearson's second catch of the day for 19. He'll come under right to the top center of your screen. There he is. Now watch this effort. Got a long way to go for the sticks. Holding hands for a while.
With Rod Perry.
Let's go, Jackie.
He has already set a playoff record, Drew Pearson has, for catching passes in the most playoff games consecutively, 10. Of course, you got to get there before you set those kind of records. Dallas has been there a lot. Danny White to punt. Again, it's off the side of his foot. Jackie Wallace comes over. Bounces out of bounds at about the 19. 34-yard kick for Danny White. We're getting a little dark in Los Angeles. Dark on the Los Angeles side particularly. It's 14-0 Dallas.
I bought the family's first pinto because I liked its look.
It looked like a good buy.
But I took Mom's pinto to college.
So we bought another pinto.
And I took that to college.
So we bought 2 pinto wagons.
His and hers.
Now we're a 4-pinto family.
Join the Pinto family, over 2 million strong and growing. The 79 Pinto. Compare. It may be the best small car buy in America.
We're a 4-pinto family now, but it's just a matter of time.
All right.
I have a confession to make. Last year, the abbot asked me to do an impossible job. Copy 500 sets of this manuscript. I did it, but I used the Xerox 9200. Now, to save paper, he wants it copied on both sides, and he wants it fast. This is going to take another miracle.
Where do you want it, Brother Dominic?
Right here.
The Xerox 9400 duplicator with automatic 2-sided copying. Will miracles never cease?
The skyline of Los Angeles back in the background. This is quite a place.
The Cowboy offense has only 145 total yards. You said the Ram defense played superbly. You're absolutely right.
Cowboys lead 14-0 as Vince Ferragamo is sacked by Dave Stalls. Number 65 comes out of nowhere.
You know, the great thing about Tom Landry is quietly, when some of his players, as young people will do, get into problems, he's taken them into his home and been very nice to them, and nobody's ever heard about it. He's never held it against them. He is really a superb person with young people.
Very active member in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and a super guy. Waters up faking a blitz on second down. Ferragamo gets to Curlin Bryant. He breaks a couple of tackles. And Rams into Randy Hughes, who finally gets him down.
They finesse Randy White that time. Watch to the right of your screen, 54. They cut him from the outside. As he spun back into the hole, Bryant just ran behind the block. Again, if you get him straight ahead, you really have to call a towing truck to stop him. He is something.
Ray Malavasi and the other members of his staff looking on. Lionel Taylor standing right next to him. Pretty good receiver himself, wasn't he? Illegal motion. It'll be Doug France. He started to come back too soon.
We ought to keep in mind, too, that the backfield that's in there right now in this championship game, none of would be starters if people hadn't gotten hurt.
Let's see what's going on with Frank Glieber down on the sideline.
Cowboys have a tendency to blitz young quarterbacks. We talked to D.D. Lewis. He says they will blitz some, particularly when the backs check up. But they know that Ferragamo can throw it a mile, so they're going to play that 4 zone and play it back deep.
You know, if you need information, I can't think of anybody better to get it from than Glieber. Can you?
Go right to the source. What do you think Ray's thinking right now?
Oh, gosh.
The wasted chances, perhaps? They had a couple.
Yep. 2 missed field goals in the first half by Corral. 3rd down, Ferragamo retreats. And they throw the screen pass out to Cullen, who is in front of the blockers. Randy White is, again, right there.
I look back on, I think that 4th and a foot gamble took a lot of that, whatever that quality is that great teams have, that you can't get a foot, you know, what can we do?
Well, I think it's sort of ironic, too, that but for a similar thing that happened last week, it might be Atlanta playing here. The Cowboys held them in a similar situation. Walker drills this one. I take back everything I said about his kicking. Butch Johnson out to about the 43. A 50-yard kick by Walker.
Got it to roll over. 5.3, I'll bet.
There a long time. I ask you this, is he really another Elvis? Or is he just one of hundreds caught up in a money-making scheme by fast-talking Nashville promoters?
And we'll find the answer out on 60 Minutes tonight, huh?
They'll be in Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee, right after the game, except here on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its normal time.
You know I'm taping it.
In its entirety.
That means all of it, right?
At the 44, 1st down, Cowboys. Roger Staubach gives for Laidlaw, who gets a couple. Jim Youngblood over on that Dallas bench. Ed Jones visiting with Dave Stalls.
You know, I was sitting with Harold Carmichael and the master and a couple of players one day. And you know what the Super Bowl or a championship is all about?
Big Daddy, Langston.
It's the ring.
Langston, Oklahoma. Big Daddy. Joe Campese.
It's not the big check. It's the ring that they get that symbolizes they were something special in that particular time, you know?
Yeah. You got one. 1960.
Not the most expensive, but it feels good.
Dorsett struggles for one, perhaps. No more than that. Dallas 14. Los Angeles nothing. Last time the Rams were shut out was by San Francisco 2 years ago, 16-0. That was not in a playoff game, though.
I have a feeling you're going to start tackling the football a little bit. The Ram players on defense are a hostile group at best, and they're going to go for it. Guess you go down, you know, scratching and clawing.
They'll do that. 3rd down, 6 yards to go at the 47. Dallas has Laidlaw, Pearson, I beg your pardon. Preston. There's a lone setback. Tony Hill breaks inside Nolan Cromwell, and the ball sails over his head. Tony Hill yelling at one of the officials saying he was interfered with, but I don't think that's legitimate.
Safety blitz was picked up pretty well by the Dallas offense, but I don't think Roger did much but airmail that one and special delivery it out of the field of play.
Danny White dropped back. We'll be in the locker room the NFC champion after the game, our man, Mr. Glieber. And if things work out as we plan, we'll also have a chance to chat with whoever turns out to be the loser. Jackie Wallace back for the Rams, and Danny White to punt for Dallas. And they're trying to block it. Again, it's a bad drop and a bad kick. Takes a Dallas bounce right into the hands of Thomas Henderson.
Talk about double jeopardy, though. You lose your starting quarterback with a compound fracture of the thumb, and the young man has to go in and ignite the offense. He probably hasn't worked with Jesse and Miller and the different people much at all this season, really.
You also think about the Ram losses. I make no excuses, but you think about the Ram losses in running backs with Capoletti, McCutcheon, Peacock, and Wendell Tyler, all gone because of injury. McCutcheon and Tyler and Peacock, the speed backs that they had. Jesse comes in motion, and Ferragamo gets to Cullen Bryant. Randy White. Oh, what a play. What a defensive play.
He finished 16 regular season games, Randy White, I'm talking about the University of Maryland All-American, with 92 solo tackles. Now, on the line of scrimmage, I don't know if there's ever been anybody that's swift, that can get to the people that often.
Charlie Waters in the middle of that defensive huddle, calling the signals and getting the signals from Ernie Stotner, who runs it over on the sideline. Then Ferragamo drops and throws outside to Cullen Bryant. He was looked at and tackled finally by Randy White and Cliff Harris. Malavasi
loading up. He takes the bad part of this game all right. He's got a good family. He's going to be all right. You win some, you lose some. He won at this one badly.
Come on! Raphael Septien encouraging his Dallas teammates. It's 14-0 Cowboys. The Pittsburgh Steelers are already in, and the Cowboys look like they'll have a rematch. Harvey Martin hit. Willie Miller gets down the sideline. Randy Hughes chasing Willie Miller and got him. And Miller did a remarkable job to stay in bounds and stay on his feet. 65 yards. From Ferragamo to Miller.
Of course, he was the big receiver, 50 catches during the year. Caught the TD against Dallas in the first game. Watch this move by Miller now. 31-year-old rookie. Looks like he knows what he's doing. He got Cliff Harris to go out, and now it's over. Used to be a 9-3 sprint man at Colorado State.
Randy Hughes made quite a play to prevent that touchdown. It'll be first and goal Rams. Just inside the 10. And maybe I spoke too soon.
Miller's first catch and a good throw by Ferragamo.
Again, the sellout crowd comes very much alive. Ferragamo gets to Cullen Bryant, and he fumbles, and Dallas has the ball back. Harvey Martin fell on the ball.
Harvey Martin made the tackle from behind and just literally blew the ball out of Bryant's grasp.
Was that Cullen Bryant's first fumble?
In 300 and some odd carries. Probably 315. Watch this. Left part of screen. 79. Forces it, catches it, and holds it up.
14-0 Dallas.
The financial capital of America. Home to hundreds of investment firms. But whose thinking is sought by corporations and governments? Who is quoted almost every day in America's business press? Yet who always has time to help any investor of any size? You know who. There are lots of investment firms, but there's only one, Merrill Lynch.
For days you fought the mountain for a 90-ton slab of granite. And now you hold your breath while you bring it out until it swings free and clear. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
It's time to relax, time to relax. One beer stands clear, Miller Beer.
Go. Hi, Sandy. Aha. Hi, Sandy.
In the thing with all the...
Sandy, of course, is our director, Sandy Grossman.
I saw that girl the other day looking for fossils at the La Brea tar pits, I swear to you.
What are you doing at the La Brea tar pits?
Just walking around, you know how I am.
Looking for fossils. First down, Dallas. That's Dorsett. And Tony Dorsett down the far sideline being chased by Rod Perry. And finally caught by Rod Perry. But Dorsett streaks down the sideline for a gain of 53 yards.
Remember those great shots we have of Jesse Owens at Berlin running that 100-yard dash? Look at this. Watch how smooth this is. And the Colorado Buffalo stays right with him. Oh, he breaks out quickly, doesn't he?
All the way to the Ram 36. Dorsett is now 14 carries for 84 yards. That one helped his average.
He ran the 4.4 on a long grass field in August. 40-yard dash. That's pretty swift.
Quick. Billy Joe Dupree lines up on the left. Jackie Smith lined up tight on the right. Dorsett behind Laidlaw. They're both behind Starbuck. That's Laidlaw. And Dallas drums down behind Laidlaw's carry to the 32. Mike Fanning on the tackle. 5:45 left to play, and some of the massive crowd that was here in the Coliseum has started to depart.
Is that fumble a blow, though, after a great pass and run Ferragamo to Willie Miller to cough it up on that first one going in?
Be interesting. Super Bowl will. Looks like it's going to be Pittsburgh against Dallas. Dorsett shuffles his feet and shuffles down to about the 22 before Elmendorf made the tackle.
Dorsett gets it wheeling. He's a little bit scary.
10 yards on that one.
I think if you were playing hearts with him, he'd drop the queen on you without any problem. He gets a team down. He starts getting the yardage in big stretches.
As it should be. Look at the LA bench. And, of course, their offensive unit. Their defense has played so very well. Doug France, that big broad back.
Dorsett has 94 and 15 carries.
Laidlaw this time inside the 20 to about the 17. Rams have all of their timeouts left, so does Dallas, but they're not going to be calling too many. Vince Ferragamo, who replaced Pat Hayden after Hayden suffered a broken thumb on his right hand, a compound fracture. There are Cowboy fans here. And they got a reason.
Well, I think Hollywood Henderson's out of his mind. If the Rams team that we've watched today doesn't have class, maybe he doesn't know what it is.
That could be. Second down, Dallas. They need 6. Ram 18. They already lead 14-0. Dorsett gets around to the outside, and again it's Rod Perry chasing over Bill Simpson. And Dorsett is near a Dallas first down. And he's also near 100 yards on the day.
Well, the acceleration takes place without the noticeable jerky maneuvers.
First down.
Out of the eye, so you don't know which way he's going to go. When they're in a pro set, teams like it better. When you're in the eye, Dorsett can go either way. It's tougher.
Both teams have had 58 offensive plays. Dallas has 14 points. The Rams have none.
Shows you with only that number of plays, though, how well the defenses have really torn up, huh?
Nobody asked me about a most valuable player, but if they do, I pick Charlie Waters. Dorsett, the ball carrier. Goes to the 10. It's a first down, Dallas. Well, that was.
Look at Reynolds. There's another underrated inside linebacker in this game.
Tell you what, he's not underrated by his own team. I stay away from him. Rams have come so close so many times. It looks like today will end in another day of frustration.
Second down, 9 yards to go.
The Dallas Cowboys. What a franchise that has been. Staubach will throw, and he has Billy Joe do 3, and it's 20-0.
Touchdown number 10 for 89.
In the blue shirts and all.
Rodgers now 13 of 25. 126 yards.
Billy Joe Dupree wide open in the Ram end zone. Nobody close.
Two tight end offenses worked pretty well the last couple of weeks.
Raphael Septien with Charlie Waters holding. It's good. And it's Dallas 21. The Rams nothing. 2 minutes, 56 seconds left to play in this contest. We'll be in the Dallas locker room after it's over.
When a $40 million aircraft comes in for a service check, you take charge. In 10 short hours, it's all systems go. Now comes Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, you got the time. We've got the beer. Miller beer.
Dave Elmendorf, the Ram safety man, looking on. And not for long.
I'm thinking about all the teams, you know, and I'm thinking about all the teams that played this year that are sitting at home watching this. A lot of good football was played. It just happens that Dallas and Pittsburgh are going to settle it.
You saw Isaiah Robertson coming over, patting Pat Thomas on the back. It's been a long year, but a good year for us, for Dallas, Pittsburgh, and really for the Rams and all the other teams who made that playoff roster too. Jim Jodat, the Ram ball carrier.
Dorsett had 70 yards of that 89-yard drive that just ended up in a touchdown.
Jim Youngblood. Ferragamo is the Ram quarterback. Don't forget the NBA on CBS, regional game coverage. The Knicks against Kansas City. Chance to see Bob McAdoo in action. Chicago against Milwaukee, and the Los Angeles Lakers against Seattle Supersonics. 1st and 10 for Vince Ferragamo. Who drops, tries to throw a screen pass, was hit. Thomas Henderson got a hand on it. It looked like Harvey Martin might have hit him just as he let it go.
Ferragamo's 7th pass. He has 3 completions. Big rush this time. Watch from the backside. Harvey Martin's going to reach over and almost get the ball before it goes, and Ed Jones almost jumped over it.
Don't forget, we will be in the Cowboy locker room after the game is over. Frank Glieber will be in there to interview the Cowboys, and if things work out as we hope, Irv Cross will be in the Ram locker room. I would imagine. Here's Randy White chasing Ferragamo, and Randy falls down. The flag is already down. The pass is picked off by Cliff Harris, and he goes down. Oh, what a feeling that is if you're on that Ram side of the field. I've been there.
I know what you mean, but the greatest teaching method of football is to watch a great player do it. And Randy White went over to the side and missed the tackle on Ferragamo and got right back up and started looking for somebody else to chase. Watch number 54 now.
Offside, number 72. 2nd down.
Ed Jones was offside.
Watch 54. Now watch Randy White, all-pro MVP from last year. Gets back up. He's looking for somebody else to do battle with.
2nd down, 5 yards
So's Jethro, huh?
Jethro Pugh. 2nd and 5. You see that sign over there?
What's the sign say?
Said, Mom, send cash. No credit cards.
Don't pay the ransom. I've escaped, right?
Ferragamo drops again. This time the protection is good for moments. Willie Miller is taken down by Aaron Kyle. We'll have the 2-minute warning. 14-yard gain, Ram first down. We'll have the 2-minute warning before they run another play.
You realize how efficient Aaron Kyle plays football? It's the first call we've made.
Well, that's respect, don't you think?
You betcha it is.
They just don't throw at him. Tom Landry will take his team to the Super Bowl for the 5th time. They've won 2 already.
Hey, Mike, if you play football the way you shave, this team's in a lot of trouble.
It's not my fault, Bradshaw. My electric razor doesn't do such a great job.
Maybe it's not your razor. Maybe it's your face.
Huh?
That's right. Your beard is just laying there. Make it stand up with Williams Electric Shave. Electric Shave will set that beard up where you can get a close, clean shave and have a lot less irritation. Make your beard stand up. Make your razor shave better.
With Electric Shave.
You learn pretty fast for a football player. Electric Shave!
Don't you ever call this a regular battery. This is the Ever-Ready Alkaline Power Cell. This is no regular battery. For the typical calculator, you can't buy a longer-lasting, all-purpose power cell than 9-volt Ever-Ready Alkaline. So when you want long-lasting energy for these calculators, think Ever-Ready Alkaline. I dare you to call it regular. I dare you.
First down with 2 minutes to play. The Cowboys lead 21-0.
Roger Staubach only threw the ball 25 times today. In the losing game here, he threw 46 times.
Vince Ferragamo. Complete. This time to Billy Waddy. Thomas Henderson wrapped him up around his feet. Turned out that Thomas Henderson might have been a prophet.
You mean that they might win the football game?
Yes. Ferragamo fires, and this time it's Willie Miller out of bounds, covered by Aaron Kyle. Or at least he was close. Clock stops with 1:34 left to play, and a flag is down on the far side of the field as Ferragamo and Willie Miller look to Ray Malavasi.
I tell you, officiating's been first class, though.
Well,
there are always going to be some tough calls.
But they get here because they've done a good job throughout the year. This is their award, the officials, I mean.
Well, there are a lot of rules to cover and a lot of great players that know how to play right up to the limit of the law.
No penalty, no penalty.
No penalty, Ben Dryght says.
I like it. They talked it over and didn't think it was a penalty.
Ferragamo has exhibited he has a good arm. Henderson. I don't believe anybody's going to catch him.
If he dunks it over the goalpost, it should signify something. There he's going for it.
There he goes. 68-yard return with the interception of a Ferragamo pass by Thomas Hollywood Henderson. He backed up his statements, didn't he?
Boy, he made a run on that ball and had it from the moment it's released. Ferragamo going to that flat. Boy, he didn't even look up to see if the LB was out there. As we said before, this young man has about as much natural ability as any football player you'll ever see. He talks it and he does it. Watch this move. Little jump shot right off the glass.
Oh, a little finger wave there. Raphael Septien with Charlie Waters holding. Will try to make it 28-0. Dallas. There's a serious problem on the field down behind the Ram bench with the police and a pedestrian. We'll check it out.
Oh. Opticians, opticians. Let's see now.
There's a lot more information in the yellow pages than meets the eye.
Glasses repaired in 1 hour.
You'll see just how fast you can get just about anything fixed. When you need to know who, what, where, when, and why, let your fingers do the walking through the Bell System yellow pages.
A very happy and justifiably so Roger Staubach. We'll talk about your class guys.
You got to get outside to 35.
I like him because he got up and yelled at the Rams in that first game, so we might beat you in the playoffs.
There is the problem, whatever it is, that we were talking about a minute ago.
That looks like a SWAT unit down there that's
does.
Restoring peace.
Except in kicks it out of bounds. Finally.
Herky, the big Pro Bowl guard. Strong and tired.
Dennis Harrah.
Yep.
Whatever the problem was, there he is. I guess he just ran on the field.
Might have gotten too much Perrier water or something.
Good luck, man.
Tony Dorsett over on the Dallas bench with the doctor.